Yep. All right. All right. Welcome to another one-shot review brought to you by the students from S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm your host, Mikey, and joining me are my two panelists, Freddy and Chris Velara, joining me today. And this is obviously from the title and the thumbnail of this video. We're going to be reviewing and discussing Zack Snyder's Justice League, aka the Snyder Cuts. We got a chance to watch it. I think you want to all watch it like the day it came out. We watched it yesterday for our Students of S.H.I.E.L.D. movie night. We're just gonna get right to it. But yeah, thank y'all for Chris and Freddie for joining me today.
Of course, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. All right, so yeah, we'll just get right into it. So I feel like to start this off, because we have a lot to talk about. It's a 4-hour-long film. So we'll just get right to it. So I just want to give like a little backstory, just like on like the how this movie even fucking happened, because it's kind of impossible. Like it's pretty historic the fact that like this movie got made in the first place. So so our first segment, so hashtag Snyder Cut, all right? So for those people who don't know anything about like how the campaign, all that stuff. So obviously, the Justice League movie was coming out right after BBS. That was a plan. So 15 to 2016, like Zack Snyder was filming this movie. And like, it was doing well. Like people were excited because, there are people who like the stuff that Zack Snyder was setting up for the Justice League. So around, let's say like halfway through like production, he was having issues with Warner Brothers at the time because they were really trying to push like, having more like MCU aesthetic, to compete because MCU was popping at that time, obviously. And Warner Brothers, being the terrible decision makers that they are, did not want them to him have his full vision through and through. And then around that same exact time, unfortunately, tragically, Zack Snyder's daughter passed away. His daughter Autumn committed suicide at the age of 20, which was a travesty. So they kind of used that the loss of his daughter as a scapegoat to kind of have him leave. So he left the project. I mean, which is honestly, it's an admirable reason for leaving. I would have left 100% if that was the case.
Yeah.
Right when he left, the movie still needed to be finished because it was only halfway through. So obviously Warner Brothers again making terrible fucking decisions. Like, yo, we need to compete with the MCU. So you know what we should do? Let's hire Joss Whedon. Because he did the Avengers and Avengers of Ultron. They were pretty successful movies. So yeah, they did. So they hired him to finish the rest of the film. He tackled obviously the rest of the directing as well as rewriting some of the script, to make it more akin to more like MCU, so more humor, more more corny humor, a lot more editing changes, a lot more color correction, ADR to fix the dialogue as well as the aesthetic of the movie. And so, people were a little worried, but we still had faith that it would happen, that the movie would still be successful. Then we actually watched it in 2017 when we watched Justice League in theaters. I remember watching it, I think, with the Marvel Club at the time. I think, Freddie, were you there when we watched it?
I didn't go to that event.
Okay, gotcha.
I was part of the organization at the time.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. Yeah, so we watched it, obviously, as everyone did, and it was trash. It was complete and utter shit. It's funny because I remember walking out. I remember walking out of the theater and I remember seeing shout out to Mike Spack, who was a member of the former Students of S.H.I.E.L.D. Was like, yo, it was good. And I was like, yeah, maybe it was good. And we actually sat there and thought about it and was like, wait a minute, no, this movie is not great.
It was a hard time to be a DC fanboy. Definitely a hard time being a DC fanboy.
Yeah, I feel like we wanted to like the film so much that we tried our best to forget that all the bad shit we just witnessed watching in that theater. But yeah, so we watched that film, was garbage. But then people were saying, then these rumors started popping up. There's an extended there's a version of this film that's up to Zack Snyder's vision that is tucked away somewhere. This was rumored for a while. And then people started doing the hashtag the Snyder Cut campaign right after that with the hashtag, and then the fandom grew. Then Zack Snyder started supporting it 100%, even though he didn't want to tell us that it existed. And they got the social media started blowing up, and the actors and the crew got involved, and the fans made this huge billboard in Times Square for hashtag the Snyder Cut. It was I saw it in real life. It was really cool. And then next thing you know, around I think like last year, I'd say like around like March-ish last year, or May, I don't remember, but yeah, that like he is actually the Snyder Cut does exist, and he's actually going to be reshooting some scenes of the film, and Warner Brothers gave him $7 million to do so, and yeah, it's unheard of in Hollywood in film. So like the fact this even exists is crazy. And one thing I want to say, like even though like we'll talk about our opinions on this film did actually a lot of good in a big way, because what I found out with the Snyder Cut campaign, because all the fans were behind it and they wanted this movie to happen, they were making a lot of merchandise and all that stuff for this film. And each of the merchandise that was sold, all the proceeds went to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, as well as the Foundation of Mental Health, and raised around $500,000.
That's great.
In honor of his daughter Autumn. So yeah, it was very sweet. Even though it's a very sweet thing this movie did. But at the end of the day, this is a fan-driven film,
right?
Which is crazy, But yeah, I don't know your thoughts on this campaign, this movement. I don't know if who wants to go after my rant.
I want more. Yeah, I want more things like it. Like I think we know there was a bunch of DC movies that were butchered by outside forces, and not saying any names.
I didn't even see that.
More directors releasing their original visions of movies just because I think they could be better. And I really like that there were so many people, like passionate, like fans, who got behind a project and actually had change happen. Because I love community organizing. Usually I do more political stuff. But the same thing happens within comic book channels. If you want something similar, like how when we wanted Young Justice to come back for season 3, fans brought that back, and I like that companies are actually listening to us.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, the fans are the consumer at the end of the day, so we should have a say in what things should be put out there.
Right.
Studio interference is a big problem. Like, we can mention tons of superhero films that could have been at the height of their potential, but studio interference ruined it.
There's a litany of them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, Chris, I don't know if you want to say anything about this.
So, I'll be honest. When I first heard about it, my opinions about it were negative because I didn't want it to be overhyped to then bomb. Because then because like it would almost be like the final nail in the coffin, and I'm glad that it did so well, because it was just like because sometimes some people do get a little like, this movie's gonna be fucking perfect, I don't care what you say, it's gonna be great no matter what happens, and like, but what if it does? What if it's a 4-hour train wreck? Would you feel better that it's released, or would it be bad? But I'm glad I got to eat those words, because going in, I was like, okay, Justice League, some stuff I've seen already. Hold on a second. I'm seeing things I like here. Oh, okay. I actually care about Diana. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm starting to like who these characters are. And then we'll get to that. We'll get into that later. But I did. Yeah. At first, it was like I was afraid. I want this to work. I really want this to work. But I was like, I just hope they don't butcher it, though. Please.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this, right? So, the fact that again, like, this movie's getting made, I also was like, oof, I don't know if this is gonna happen.
There's a lot riding on it.
And yeah, like I could see why people, like, especially like diehard Zack Snyder fans, were like, come on, like, let's get it done, like, Snyder Cut, it's gonna, but I'm like, guys, like, you know what, this movie happened, it was awful, let's just move on, like, but in the back of my mind, because I do like, Zack Snyder's movies are an acquired taste, but I do like some of the stuff that he's done, So I maybe thought, like, okay, maybe if it does exist, I mean, I'll check it out. I mean, especially if it's his vision through and through, I'll get behind it. Just to, I'll be open-minded. But but now the fact that I've actually watched it, I'm like, okay, yeah, like I can see why a director's vision is important to a film,
right?
Especially when it's not. Oh, sorry, Christian.
No, you're good. It's a prime example. I agree, Mikey. You're good, Fred.
especially when it's a vision, like they already had, this was basically a final in a trilogy. So you can't have the themes and the values that you've been exploring since Man of Steel that carried into Batman v Superman and then suddenly try and change it into something it's not. That's part of what made the first cut so bad. It was I don't know if this is the real word, but like the vision dissonance between trying to make this consistent, like tonally and thematically consistent with the first two movies, and just being such a whiplash. So having him through it, finish it, is nice to see like where he was going with it. But also, it did help that it couldn't possibly be worse. Like the Snyder could possibly be terrible.
Right.
I keep losing my train of thought, but like I really was saying to myself, "Man, this cannot be worse than what we got. It's impossible." Because we'll say it a bit, like we'll say later, like this. The reading cut. If people who haven't watched it, it's awful. Like it's not. It's no. It was not the move at all.
Right. The Joss Whedon version of it was just. It felt like a cookie cutter, like, oh, this is supposed to be like the Avengers, but in this universe of like, this is not the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Christian, you're muted.
You're muted. Oh wait, your mic isn't connected, bro. Your mic isn't. Nah, we still can't hear you. We still can't hear you. Your mic is your mic connected? Did it die? Technical difficulties? All right. Well, I will say this real quick that like, yeah, he'll pop in and pop back out. But I'll say this real quick that like, again, like I know like a lot of people don't really like DC EU films, especially people who don't like Zack Snyder's work. Because I'll say this right now that like Snyder Cut fans, there are like big toxic Snyder Cut fans that exist, but at the same time, MCU fans are just as bad. Like toxic MCU fans. Yeah, it's true. That thing that like their movies are the ride or die for superhero films and nothing else. So like, yeah, that's
fandom in itself breeds toxicity. So every group has the good and the bad.
Yeah, for sure. Wait, Chris, you good?
We can't hear you.
No, you're not. Yeah, but Freddie, you have any final thoughts on the Snyder Cut, the whole movement campaign before we move on?
No, I'm pro movement. I would love if more studios could at least keep, like, once you sign someone onto not a contract, but like onto a movie, I think you should let them. You're admitting that you think they have a good plan, so you should just let them.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Through.
Okay, sorry, Freddie. Please continue.
I was just saying, I think that we should normalize letting people work their vision through, and if you don't like it, don't hire them for the next movie, but don't butcher a production because you suddenly want something to go differently. Same thing happened with Suicide Squad. They wanted it to be more. They let a promo company recut their movie.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. That's why it feels like a commercial almost, or like a trailer for a movie. I highly agree that it unfortunately happens way too often where it's a lot of, we like what you did before, please come work with us, but we need you to do this though. Can you do this? Well, I'd really like to do something different. I'm an artist. Well, we're gonna need you to do this though, because this makes numbers. That's why Suicide Squad feels like a hollow copy of what Guardians of the Galaxy was. Ultimately.
And if you want your vision if you want it to be a specific way, hire an actor or a director who can direct it that way.
Right.
Don't hire a person who's known for making their own like innovative ideas and then tell them to fit inside this box.
Right. Because they're gonna just be like, I hate it. I'm just like Josh Trank situation with Fantastic Four. It's like, I hate it. This is gonna be stupid. I'm not even gonna try. But then, like, do you really want a director at that point, or do you just want somebody to just be like, yes, sir, like a yes man, like, okay, I'll do it. Yeah, okay. I have no thought process.
If you have a director who has a specific like cinematic style, the way he does storytelling, the way he does like aesthetic, all that stuff, let him do his job. For 100%, just let him work. All right. Don't, and then if you, as Mikey made a good point, if you want to have a specific style done, hire a director to do that style,
right?
Or to do follow that aesthetic. But But like, at the end of the day, just let the director and or the writer do their job for this movie, please. That's like
Word.
Don't interfere. You're businessmen. You're not creatives. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, there's some times where studio interference might help, but not all the time, dude.
See, hold on. Rebecca got a comment real quick. She said, additionally, if you want X, Y, and Z, you need to establish it with the director, writer beforehand. Of course,
agreed.
100%. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. But is that it before we move on to like our first impressions of the film?
What's the next topic, Mikey? Because I'm curious to get into the nitty gritty
first
details.
Impressions of the movie. What did y'all think of the Snyder Cut? Zack Snyder's Justice League, if you will.
I would say that, like mentioned before, and I told you this when I was watching it, that my first impressions were the first 15 minutes, give or take, where we got introduced to like the intro. The intro was a lot better. I messed with it a lot more than with the mustache gate Superman. It felt a lot more Zack Snyder, and a lot of the scenes were about the same but different. Where, like, what is it? Wonder Woman's assault, or she's stopping like the guys and stuff, and I was like, okay, this I remember from Justice League, but it feels different. Something feels different. I'm seeing more. I'm getting more details. All right, cool. And then once it hit Aquaman, that's when I was realizing how much of a difference there was between the Joss Whedon Justice League and this one. And I was like, okay, you can tell characteristics. Not everybody's trying to crack a joke or be Mr. Funny Man. It's like, Bruce Wayne's here. I'm serious. I need to find Aquaman. And the occasional, like, maybe a quip or something. And I'm like, okay, I'm liking this. I'm getting people's characters right. And then it just keeps moving more and more. And I'm like, I'm hooked. It's a 4-hour movie. I'm watching this at like 12 o'clock at night. I'm like, I'm liking this. I'm seeing proper character development, set up, payoff of scenes, callbacks, things like, okay, if you were paying attention, this makes sense to you as a movie, and you're getting rewarded for it. I'm like, okay, this is good. This is really good. Dude. Those are my first impressions.
Okay, Freddie, what do you want to say about first impressions?
Similarly, I want to focus on the character aspect, because one of my biggest problems in am I echoing?
Yeah, you are echoing.
All right, let me see if I can fix that. Better?
Yeah, it's better.
Perfect. One of my problems with the other Zack Snyder movies is it didn't seem like he really knew Superman's character in Man of Steel or his family's character, but it seemed like he at least did more character analysis with Aquaman and the Flash in this one. So like my first vision of the scene is like, oh, I actually like these two. I like them a lot better than what I'd seen before previously. I thought it was very good. I like the action scenes. I think this movie was very well choreographed with their fight scenes. I like the CGI. I like the effects. The first like hour or so in the movie was very encapsulating. It very much threw me into the world. I very much was actually excited to see what was going to happen. I think it had a very strong beginning.
For sure. I mean, I'll say this from my perspective. I enjoyed this movie. I honestly, I really enjoyed this movie for what it was. I mean, I understand it's not a perfect film. I understand that. But for what I knew for a fact that, like, again, I did not like the first cut of Justice League at all. No. So I knew for a fact that this was going to be a lot, at least like a lot better than what we originally got. And as you can see from the film, the bones are still there. Like, there's still, the Steppenwolf is still the villain of this movie. It's not, from what we got, it's still, even though we did see some dark side, some apocalypse, like Steppenwolf is still the villain of this movie. And Freddie, you have connotation on that which we'll talk about. I
have a lot of feelings on Steppenwolf.
But now that it's a 4-hour long film, there's a lot more time for like to analyze these characters, a lot more like breathing room to focus on like character arcs and motivations and all that stuff. And plus, like with Zack Snyder's style, like Zack Snyder, I always describe him like he likes to make like long movies. But because they're theatrical release, like because they're gonna be theatrical releases, they're cut down to around 2 hours, like 1.5, like 2 hour long film. Because there's so many like pivotal moments that like either connect the plot along or are important to like discuss the themes he wants to address. Those theatrical releases are not that great. But his cuts, his extended cuts, I personally enjoy a lot more than I do these theatrical ones. So I knew for a fact that, like, it's a 4-hour-long movie. He's gonna say what we want to say. He's gonna flesh out these characters a lot better, and Yeah. And plus, like, I don't mind the whole like dark style that he goes for. I know people have other opinions on that. I mean, I would prefer like a brighter film, but I mean, for what it was, I
Yeah.
what we got. It was way better by like a mile. Um, but yeah, so that's my first impression of the film. Of
Oh,
this film.
okay.
I for what it was, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Even though it's not perfect, I enjoyed it. It's the Justice League that I wanted to watch from like the first trailer of it, like when we first got the first trailer of Justice League, like 5 years ago now. That's what I wanted from this, and then what we got was a cut together mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joss Whedon wasn't the right guy. But
Mhm.
they saw dollar signs, so it makes sense on their
Mhm.
part. But
Yeah.
bad decision.
All right. So is that anyone want to say anything else before we move on?
No, I agree with you guys.
Yeah.
For
The
sure.
only other first impression I had was that it was going to be long because I saw the 4 hours and 2 minutes, and I was like, 4 hours.
Same here. I was like, because I don't watch 4-hour movies. I mean, the longest I think a movie should be, well, if even if it's a cut, is like 3 hours is like the max I'll go. I won't go an extra hour for that.
You can do 4 hours if I think the pacing needs to be immaculate and you need to be using the time effectively. I don't think there were times in this movie. I don't think this movie needed to be 4 hours. As I said earlier, I started after the first 15 minutes, restarted the movie, and started timing unnecessary slow scenes. And we could have shaved 22 minutes off of this movie off itself. But I think if like The Lord of the Rings, that was a movie that was long, and I stayed into it for the entire time.
Yeah.
Endgame, that was a long movie, and I was invested for most. There was times I fell out of Endgame. I think that this movie could have gotten the same feel and been slightly shorter.
Okay.
But also, I don't think I'm going to necessarily fault a movie for being long because there are people who want to sit down and analyze every scene and giving more content. I just know that I have ADHD, so long things aren't for me, but they are for other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, I understand. Yeah.
That's understandable, sir.
All right, so I guess we'll move on to our next topic. So we're gonna be doing the Snyder Cut versus Josstice League, which is the common name that people are saying for this film. I don't know what. I mean, I'll start by saying that like, notably, like the one thing it shocked me when I was watching the Snyder Cut is that Zack Snyder, Joss Whedon butchered this film. Like, there are a lot of scenes in this movie that are recognizable from the original one, even though like I'd say like only like 12% of the scenes that we saw that Zack Snyder shot is in this movie. Like the Wonder Woman scene, for example, is a lot longer. It's a lot more. It's like I said, like 5 extra minutes longer, and just because of those, like, this is stuff that Zack Snyder extended with that scene makes it a lot more enjoyable than the Joss Whedon cut. Hold on, we have a comment real quick. Here's it. Marek said there's a lot in here that feels like filler because a lot of the beginning doesn't move the plot along. I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. But yeah, like, and just like Zack Snyder's version, like, again, because there's so much time with this film, it gives a lot more, again, more breathing room for character motivations, arcs, dissections, all that stuff. As well as like some of the jokes that are in Joss Whedon's version are in this version because apparently there was some of the jokes was Zack Snyder's idea that he put in. But because there's a lot more like timing, they land a lot better for me. Especially stuff with the Flash. Like, I like a lot more of the jokes in the Flash in this one and the last one because they were so like he was just a joke machine before like it's super fucking annoying and just like it's just kind of ridiculous. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna say to start off. I don't know what anyone else wants to say about the film comparison.
Freddie,
actually, Freddie hasn't seen it.
Oh,
that's to start off. He has not seen the Justice League.
I have not seen the Justice Whedon cut. Specifically the event Mikey brought up earlier, I was boycotting the Justice League movie back then because I thought it was going to be bad. And people were like, Freddie, you're overreacting. And it was. I was very vindicated. But I do want to say some of my criticisms with the movie, especially with the length, are outside of the movie's control and are more meta problems. Like, I have a problem with some of the fact this movie was doing too much. Like, I don't think Aquaman and Flash's the origin stories should have been as touched on in this film. But also, we can't ignore the fact that DC decided to not do what the MCU did and give everybody their own film. So I think that he was able to incorporate the fact that he had to do their backstories in the movie as well. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Instead of shoving it in here, Yeah,
so I think the way that he, like, the first part of the movie didn't move the plot along because it wasn't able to move the plot along because the producers made him have to do the extra work of establishing these characters. Whereas if you compare it to the Avengers, where they were able to get straight into the plot because all the characters' motivations, origins, and personalities were previously established in other movies. So you can get straight into the inter-conflict. Whereas this way, because the first, like, Steppenwolf doesn't interact with the main cast until I think like an hour and a half into the movie, which makes it feel very disjointed. But some of that is because they're doing character work on the left side and plot work on the right side, and they have to wait for them to converge because of the producers' decisions.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would say this though, that like, I mean, I get that like, with the way MCU has set up their model for their universe is that like, you know, they did all the solo movies first, which is again, it's great organization so that we can have, you know, we already know the backstory of these characters when the event, like the team up stuff happens. But at the same time, like, I mean, I kind of understand. Like, I think like it was a choice from Zack Snyder to not do that because, like, I mean, granted, like one, Marvel had a 10-year head start, so like, so like that's one thing to go off of. But two, like maybe just like I like how they try to like, you know, give a little bit like a weave in some little backstories in with like Barry Allen, like Cyborg and all that stuff because like I mean, just having that made me care more about the Flash. Like the stuff with his father and like his motivation of why like he wants to be a criminal. He's a in criminal justice to eventually get his father out. Is like, you know, I like that extra conversation, that exposition, that added a lot more conversation, like a lot more dialogue and more connections to these characters for me than
it's more identifiable for you.
Yeah. My thing with that scene in particular is that the conversation he had with his dad in the jail cell, it felt more expositional than it was emotional. And if the Flash had already been established in a previous movie, that could have been an emotional conversation where we got insight into character. But he was like, but he was trying to feed the audience information, which isn't a problem in itself, but I definitely see how it can slow down the pacing of the movie.
Yeah, it felt heavy-handed.
It did.
It felt heavy-handed for you.
Like, when you're having a conversation with your dad, you're not going to be like, oh, why do I want to be a police officer? Is it maybe because my dad is rotting in prison for a crime he didn't commit? Like, the way he delivered the line was good, but it didn't have much weight to it. It felt like he was trying to convey that information to us.
Right, you might as well just looked at the camera and said that or something.
Yeah, word.
I mean, like, it's just they fumbled the ball on all aspects. Because if you looked, you didn't look at Joss Whedon as the artist. You only saw they only saw him as Joss Whedon, the guy who made Avengers that made money. Because the guy did Buffy, he did Firefly. Tone wise, that makes sense why he could do Avengers because that's kind of the same tone. It works. But then you're looking at it like, hey, can we get this guy to completely fuck up the tone of what we had previously set up before? And like Patty Jenkins gets a pass because Wonder Woman was set in the past and it's its own standalone movie. Same thing with Shazam. But this is kind of like, this is everybody together as well. And so we have these main characters who are supposed to be main characters, but we know little to nothing about them. Like if you're just a common moviegoer. So that's your first fumble on top of having Joss Whedon make the movie. And it's just bad in all aspects. Flat villain. Don't care about his motivation because his motivation is just world destruction, not even domination. And we get a lot more from like anime, dude. Like I know a lot, like compare Steppenwolf to like Madara or some shit, where it's like, dude, you're terrible. And who's Darkseid? I don't know if I care because I don't like Steppenwolf. Like this is just a train wreck on top of everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's because like his motivation wasn't even discussed. It was just like, I just want to take over the world, just cookie cutter, world domination, alien type villain.
I need the mother boxes.
At least in that we got that he was exiled from Dark Apocalypse, which I actually love because I always talk about how Steppenwolf is the $2 hoe of the Apocalypse crew because no one likes him. When I was watching the movie and I was like, oh wait, they're gonna make the fact that no one likes Steppenwolf his motivation. Let's go.
Right.
Well, I'll get this out of the way just so that like we can talk. So like obviously like the Whedon cut, if you want to like physically compare like the Whedon cut to like the Snyder cut, I'll say I already explained this to y'all before we started, but like I want to say this for the audience real quick. So like the Whedon cut, I'll say around 25% of the film is what Zack Snyder actually shot that we saw in the theatrical release of Justice League. All right, so. Double the runtime of the Snyder Cut. Obviously, that's 2 extra hours of film. So we'll say it's around like 12%, about 12% of like the Snyder Cut of like the Zack Snyder shots that were in Justice League and Justice League that are in the Snyder Cut. And then the rest of the Snyder Cut consists of the stuff that Joss Whedon took out, the stuff that Zack Snyder shot while there, but like he didn't use, so he just had them on file like somewhere. In his archives, as well as the stuff that he reshot with the 70 mil that Warner Brothers gave him to do the Snyder Cut. So and mostly like that's which makes, and when it comes to like the editing as well as the dialogue that we didn't see and all that stuff, and like the style of the and the tone of what this movie is, it is an entirely different movie to me.
Yeah.
Like again, I was shocked to see like wow, like just to see like what Zack Snyder intended for these scenes that Joss Whedon like butchered. But yeah, again, like the VFX is different, the ADR is different, like the color correction is different. Like a lot of the Justice League stuff was a lot of bad editing, a lot of bad CGI, a lot of bad ADR stuff. Again,
it didn't work.
Yeah, if you want to talk about like just real quick, I have an image. I'm trying to like I have like some images of like a comparison like of the Snyder Cut and Justice League real quick that I'll pull up. Yeah, so like right here, again, vastly different. Design Steppenwolf, like the way like Batman looks, the way Superman looks, of course.
You can tell these are reshoots. Like,
and
so
I discovered like recently that a lot of the like bad Superman mustache stuff that we saw in the Joss Whedon cut is all Joss Whedon. Zack Snyder covered all of that stuff perfectly in his cut, but Zack Snyder reshot all the scenes with Superman with that terrible mustache job because I thought it would like better with that it would like change the tone of the film, and plus he added the dialogue of like the whole like Chris could clarify with me, like the whole "do you bleed" thing he said to Batman with the whole close-up shot of the lip is awful. Like again, Steppenwolf looks so much. If you can say whatever you want about the new design, but he looks a lot better than he does in the Snyder Cut. Batman again, because the color correction again for the Joss Whedon cut is supposed to have like a brighter, a brighter tone look. It worked with everyone else's costumes, but with Batman, it looked a lot because like the shadows and all that stuff for the costume that Whedon designed specifically for that reason to get like that dark look looks so weird when it's like, in like when it has like a more like higher saturation. It's
look at it. Look at the difference. The one on the left looks like the Dark Knight, and then the one on the right looks like a cosplay, like a Halloween cosplay.
That is literally a scene from Batman and Robin. Like that is what I see when I see that Batman. Where is Poison Ivy? Where is Mr. Freeze?
It shows what a difference in like tone and like vision really matters. Like just visually, look at the difference, dude. It's wild.
Exactly. I mean, as well as like I'll say the final battle. I'll pull up another image. Like the final battle of Justice League.
There were stakes.
Like, there were actual stakes in this movie. Like that was. But like I think like just aesthetically. Let's see. Like aesthetically, right here, like Joss Whedon wanted the whole like like the red like saturation like in the sky and like all that stuff, and it's just like it just didn't work. Like and I just noticed this out with this picture that like Cyborg and Aquaman were supposed to be with her fighting alongside Steppenwolf. Like it was just her. Like
it was in the trailer and everything too, but they cut it out.
Yeah, and also like Freddy, since you didn't watch it, there's a subplot with a family that is
No more
supposed to be, like,
family.
that there's like this Russian family, because like the town that they showed in the movie was abandoned. It was an abandoned town in Snyder's version, and in Josstice it was an actual just like a shitty town that like this poor town these people lived in, and they had to be evacuated out.
Okay.
He
And
just showed
basically,
up.
yeah,
And
and basically they had like these cuts of like, oh, we're gonna go back to this random family to see their perspective on the invasion, and we're like, it's not necessary. Like, we don't.
Why
need
do we care?
Yeah,
because it was supposed to establish, like, since we didn't have character build up properly, it was supposed to show us that Flash wants to save people, and then when Superman also shows up to help, that they're like, we're also superheroes, we want to protect the people. And like, you get some scenes where it's like, okay, our car can't start, don't worry, I'll push it for you, I'm the Flash. And then he looks over and he sees Superman carrying a whole apartment building, flying them out of there. I was like, okay, that's a cute little like comic book kind of moment, I agree. But dude, we don't care. Not in the context of this movie.
And
I don't care.
I think it's like, oh, sorry, Freddie, go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say, it's like in Godzilla when they focus on the humans. Like, you need to know that not only do you have to pay attention to the emotional stakes of your story, you also have to pay attention to the stakes of your audience, because we don't want to see that shit. We don't care about these people.
Yeah,
They're only there for the expositional, like, Godzilla's on his way, the Mutos are coming. Okay. Oh, I live in San Francisco. I love you, honey. Like, please, I miss you. Like, okay, I don't care. Godzilla's outside. Show me that.
exactly. Another thing that I'll say right here, I just grabbed, just real quick. Like, there's some bad continuity errors with like production wise between the two. Like I think like the one on the left is I think is Whedon. On the right is Zack Snyder. Just you can
tell.
Yeah, I know like hair and stuff is like really hard to match, especially when you have to like try to like match what the previous director did. But like you can tell the immediate difference between the two. Just
This is where I'm saying, like, this is where you start to like, if you ever build the power and the resolve to watch it, you're gonna like, around this time is when you'll I notice like something's different and in a good way. Because like it doesn't look weird, it doesn't look funky. It looks like that, the one on the right.
Yeah.
Don't worry. One day you're gonna be you're gonna see it one day.
For people who have not watched the Snyder Cut or like have watched it already, I would recommend watching the original Justice League just so I can make an accurate like comparison. It really does help.
Freddy.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I can enjoy the Snyder Cut. I can say the Snyder Cut is an all right superhero movie, and not need to see the absolute dumpster fire that is the thing that came before it.
Yeah.
Listen, a dumpster fire stinks, but it's still warm. You'll still get some sort of enjoyment from it.
I mean, you're talking to a person whose favorite superhero movie is still Catwoman, so I know that horrible movies can be enjoyable.
Yo,
that's funny.
You can watch Catwoman and enjoy Catwoman. You could watch Josstice League, bro. Oh my gosh.
Isn't in Josstice League, is she?
Oh my god, that's like the best thing I've heard all day.
Fair point.
That is the best thing I've heard all fucking day. That is hilarious. Oh my god. There's another one of my favorite things about the continuity errors that I love in Justice League is Aquaman, bro. Aquaman
characters is. I'm gonna get to that when we get to.
I wonder if I have the right image. It's right here, dude. You can immediately. Oh my god, like. That scene where like he leaves like the Icelandic area, right? Is just like you can literally, if you watch Justice League, you can literally tell what's Snyder's and what's his, because like I don't know if you can tell here, like the tattoos are a lot bigger in the original, in the Whedon cut than the Snyder cut, and then like the color correction on top of that, as well as just like like the small errors like with stuff that try to match like what they did. It's a poor match. Yeah. But there's one scene where, like, because in the Snyder version he just disappears, in the Whedon cut, like you actually like see him like actually jump into the water,
and then he bullets off.
Yeah, like he goes back first. If you pay attention, all the bottom half of the tattoos are gone.
I didn't.
And it's you won't notice it, but like you won't like be like, oh my god, like but you can tell like something was wrong there.
Yeah.
But if you see just like you see him just dive in, like all the bottom half of the tattoos on like on his abdomen and on like his sides are gone. And it's
Magic marker
hilarious.
tattoos.
I don't.
Yeah.
How does Jason Momoa look smaller on the right one than he does on the left?
That's true.
He's a funny man, Aquaman. He's not, he's not trying to be like, hey, what's up, dude?
Yeah.
I gotta say though, oh Jesus Lord Almighty. I gotta say, I like the subtlety differences of Aquaman's leave. I just throw that in quick. It's just subtle. He turns back, he's gone. No,
exactly.
I'm Aquaman. It's my fucking bullet.
Although he still had that second time he left where he walked into waves.
Yeah,
for 2 minutes.
That's true.
I'll say this as like my last point before we move on to like obviously we know the controversy with Joss Whedon. Like he abuses. He like you didn't know this, Freddy. Okay,
no, I didn't know this either.
Yeah, so Joss Whedon, as like a lot of things have been coming up a lot more recently, but I mean it was pretty known like ever since he did like Avengers like 2, that he's a very like racist, like he's a racist, sexist like man. And even though he did Buffy and all that stuff, which I mean I love Buffy, but like it kind of shows in his work a lot more now that in the past decade, because like in Josstice League there's a lot of like ass shots of the Amazons a lot. The way he does the Amazons, there's a lot of like dumb humor, like especially there's one scene where like Flash like falls on Wonder Woman's chest and he gets like really weirded out. He's like, oh, like, which is like it's dumb. A lot of the scenes that we see that a lot of like Cyborg, most of his scenes were cut out of the film. And,
yeah, dude, it was...
and in my opinion, Cyborg is my favorite part of this film. I love Cyborg a lot.
I will agree with that.
And the thing is, it's wild because like Ray Fisher, like people were giving shit on Ray Fisher for like, yo, you were fucking trash in Justice League. But like in reality, after watching this movie, I was like, we didn't really see much of his work in Justice League, and it was it was phenomenal. But I have thoughts on Ray. I have some issues with Ray Fisher, but like I will admit that like he did a really good job as Cyborg, and we didn't see that. As well as Barry Allen as Ezra Miller as the Flash. I'm sorry, no, Ezra Chokovich Miller as the Flash. There was a lot of good stuff in the movie with the Flash that we didn't see. That made me like the Flash because I hated those two in the original cut. And bad crude humor, and it was just a mess. We didn't neuter the fuck out of this movie, as well as like special effects. Like the Flash looks a lot different when he's running with CGI wise than he does in the Snyder Cut. He looks a lot better in the Snyder Cut, actually, 10 times better. This is my favorite version of like the Flash when it comes to, like the Speed Force I've ever seen. Like so far, but yeah, like he there's a lot of controversy with Joss Whedon, and it clearly shows him he's a terrible person, And plus, Ray Fisher came out, and that's what people were getting around about like Ray Fisher crying a lot, which I mean it's kind of an asshole thing to do, but like he was calling out the abuse of Joss Whedon as well as like the Jeff Johns and like the other producers on Justice League after Zack Snyder left, like how they were treated with the reshoots and all that stuff, and like Ryan Choi's in this movie, and he's an Asian character.
I didn't even know that, dude. Too.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
These are all characters. So many. I mean, from a film standpoint, I see why these were cut out, but for some of them, I felt like you could have left them in.
Yeah.
Like, let alone Cyborg's whole story.
Yeah.
But
Cyborg,
like, come on, dude.
Cyborg, the stuff with Silas, like Silas Stone, like Ryan Choi, even though like he was just there, but like by like its Asian representation,
Yeah.
is dude, fucked up, man. Like
it didn't hit me that was Adam until like further down, because I was like, I feel like he's very prominent. I was like, who is this guy? Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna just see him sit back and find out.
That was one of the things I got excited for. That when we talk about cameos, I was like, oh my goodness, they mentioned there are so many like one-liners or throwaway lines that allude to other characters, and I was like, I can appreciate this, and I don't know if there are plans for an Adam movie, but I would like it.
I would like it. I'm curious to see what they would do.
I'd like it too. I'd like to see what they do differently from like Ant-Man or something.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to find the infamous run from Justice League, but I can't. I'm having a hard time finding it.
Not a problem.
Yeah, if you can get that, Chris, that'd be great. But Joss Whedon, obviously, like that cut is a lot better. Hold on, Rebecca has another comment. Just Joss said women are people once in the 90s, and we never questioned if they were people he respected. But for real, fuck Joss Whedon. He's racist. Said 100% true.
Word.
I 100% agree. Zack Snyder, I mean, in this film, he does a lot more respect with the Amazons, like that they're badass warriors, not objects. You know,
Yeah.
in this movie.
I would not
Again,
trifle with any of them.
exactly, like the more focus on like diversity and representation.
Mhm.
With fucking like Ryan Choi, I was like, what the fuck is Ryan Choi? Like, you know, like, and as we'll see from other characters that we'll talk about later on, but like, yeah, man, Zack Snyder's cut is a lot better than this. I don't want to call any names, but someone that I watched the movie yesterday said that the Whedon cut was better, and I literally threw up and laughed.
I'd like to know what their points were.
Yeah.
I want to see what their points were before anything.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you like in a movie then, bro? I need to know.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I'm not. I've said who this person is to you, Chris, but like you can call him up to make sure you know.
Okay. See, now I just remembered. I was like, all right. See now, yeah, I need to do some interrogating myself here. All right.
Yeah, but yeah. So any other final thoughts before we move on to actual like dissecting this film now? You know,
between the two, my final thoughts on that would just be Snyder had a vision, and although long, it was good. It was a very good vision of what he wanted to do. The other one is it's a product. It's a product that was just, hey, let's just get this guy to do it because we'll make some money probably out of it. It's Joss Whedon.
What's it called? Freddy, you wanna see something like wild in Justice League just real quick? I found a video from the original cut.
Is it the infamous running scene I've heard so much about?
Oh my god!
So this is what Flash actually looks like when he's running at the end of the movie.
It doesn't even look elegant. It looks like when I'm trying to, like, he looks half roller skating, half falling down drunk.
Just like,
what is that? What is this? Like,
and where is he even running?
I think he's just running forward towards Central City. Like that end scene we got with like the Flash running at the end of like the Snyder cut. It was the same scene, but like he added that at the end.
Like this looks like those like recreations of movies that they do at the Oscars. Like this just looks so bad. Like they're just poking fun at it or something.
Yeah. So wait, there's a comment here real quick. Says after that cliffhanger, we gotta we'll talk about that as well. But yeah,
big facts.
Yeah, you wanna move on real quick to
let's do it. What's next?
What we liked? I mean, a lot that we liked. We'll talk about like favorite. We'll talk about like favorite moments. We'll say we'll do that first. And that's a better like thought process.
Okay,
dude, anything with Cyborg, I love. I'll say that. The Flash, I love the Flash a lot more in this cut. I love how like he just interprets like the Speed Force. I like that like it's an actual like plane of existence that like the Flash actually sees while he's running and like while he's in slow mo. Instead of just like typical like how we see like in the CW shows where like he's just running, and just like with the lightning. I like that it's like when he's he goes into like speedster mode. That's you see like the Speed Force around him, and then lighting and everything. I think it's so cool. I mean, there's a lot to talk about that. I enjoy. I mean, well, if you want to like get into it's like Cyborg, like we'll say like not like Cyborg. No, I'll say like shot wise. I'll say that Zack Snyder's really good at capturing like moments. Like stunning, like aesthetically pleasing moments. Like a lot of this movie is like I've heard like someone describe it in like a review that it's like seeing like full like continuous full page spreads of double splash pages of a comic book, which I mean I could see. They're like if you want to say like I mean I know like there's like a lot of like afraid like saying like the slow mo and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, I mean which it's an artistic choice, but like I mean it's not gonna say well everybody I know that for a fact, but like there are some moments with the slow mo I was like that looks incredible, like especially like the football scene with Victor. Like I liked that a lot when like with the tackles and all that stuff. That was really cool. And like Wonder Woman throwing the bomb up in the air. I thought that was like this is cool. Like this is but like I'll say to start off. I like the fucking I like the decisions that he made. Like make have like those wow moments, you know.
Yeah.
And the fact that also this movie has stakes. Like there are stakes to this film. This is like even though like the first half of the film is very expositional, and they're trying to to set up those motivations and those arcs and like the real threat of apocalypse, especially with Steppenwolf. But like I love that end battle with at the end of the film. I loved it a lot. It was I was just like, this is what I wanted. Like,
just, it's so tough. Oh my goodness, it's so nice.
Like,
the movie, I always talk about fight scenes in movies. I love fight choreography. This movie had some great fight scenes.
mm-hmm.
There have some criticisms, which I'll bring up later when we talk about Steppenwolf. But I like this. I like this movie's fight scenes. I know I don't like the actress, but Steppenwolf versus Mara in the water thing. I thought that fight was very choreographed.
Ooh, dude. When she about to blood bend the water out of him?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
dude.
It was a cool scene. Also,
like, okay.
Speaking on the Flash, I loved the scene with Iris during the car crash, where he was saving her and also kind of creepily like looking into her eyes and all that stuff. That was a little weird, but I liked like the way it was shot, the way it was filmed was really cool.
Yeah, I love like what with he like the fact that his shoes explode, because that's what realistically would happen if that was the case, you know.
Realistically, all of his clothes would have exploded. So I don't know why only the shoes did.
Apparently his shoes weren't flash proofed yet.
I mean, exactly. Yeah, word. But yeah, like that, like a lot of the battles were great. A lot of the extra stuff that they added to the characters, like in the fights, I thought were cool, but kind of like even though I thought the arms with Cyborg was a little weird, but I understood the reason why. Like, he is an adaptive machine. Like, he would adapt to whatever situation would happen, you know. So that I got, but it still looked weird. I was like, okay, that's I don't know. I don't really like the way Cyborg looks in the Snyderverse in general, because like he needs meat. He needs
more human.
Yeah, I like, that's why I like the Doom Patrol Cyborg a lot, because like he's a cyborg, but like he got some human parts to him, you know. I mean, I'll say I did like Aquaman a lot. Like, I mean, even though I said like I enjoyed Aquaman, like the movie. I liked what the aesthetic and like what what James Wan did with the characters that he established. And I understand chronologically, like this was filmed before that came out, so like I don't think James Wan was having like that many discussions with Zack Snyder on like what the film should look like. But like, again, it was James Wan's vision. But like Volko like did not. Like I didn't like the way he looked. I like the way he looks in Aquaman more. As well as like like Mira looked a lot better in Aquaman as well. As well as like, I mean, some of the Atlantean armor. Even though I like the full on Aquaman armor we got in that movie, I do like his costume here. Like, it's more, has a more like Polynesian, like Samoan influence in like the Atlantean designs that I love. But yeah, I'm sorry, I've been talking to someone who someone could say.
You're cooling. I guess I would keep mine simple, because we're gonna get into characters in a minute.
Yeah.
I just like the overall, compared to the Joss Whedon one. I like the overall writing of it. I like the characterization moments and how one thing leads to another and it makes sense. And it's not the third mother box is being taken away by Steppenwolf off screen. I guess we got to go find him now. It's like, it shows you like he's busting in here. Where's the mother box? I'm going to take it. I'm like, whoa, I like this. I like that.
Steppenwolf was a lot more intimidating in this one than he was in the last one.
Because they give him a lot more to do besides just talking about mother. Who's mother?
He literally, Freddie, he referred to the mother boxes as mother. Like,
I've seen the memes of that.
Okay.
I'm just surprised he didn't refer to them as Martha.
I also said I did like the fact that like he did try to connect like the show, like the connect like stuff with like what happened in BVS and like I guess Man of Steel, barely in Man of Steel, but there's more BVS connection to this and then in the regular stuff, because like literally the beginning of the movie starts with Superman's death, and how his death cry activated the mother boxes, because in the last one they just turned on for no reason.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, is this new reason a little weird and kind of dumb? Yes, but it's still a reason for why they woke up in the first place, you know?
Yeah. And everybody heard his death cry and everything, and it's like, okay, this is a catalyst.
Yeah.
Something's gonna happen.
Yeah, and then like I even thought about it more. They showed like Lex Luthor in the chamber, because at the end of BVS he was in that chamber, and that's when he like learned about like Steppenwolf and Apocalypse and the mother boxes. And he was saying like he was talking to like Batman at the end, and they used like this clip from in the trailers for the Snyder Cut. He said like, you know, like he's like, you know, like the bell's already been rung, ding dong, the god is dead. Like,
makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, now it actually makes more sense with that, you know. But yeah, I liked how he tried his best to connect his other films together. Like it's another like trilogy in like his vision of like the DCEU, you know, which I appreciated.
He had a coherent plan, which is something that was very much lacking in other DC movies at the time.
Right.
It's starting to get together now. Hopefully, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see we'll talk about like what they may do with this. I have thoughts on it.
But like, of course, like anything with success, they're gonna like just like, as I saw it earlier that WB and I think Netflix, or no, I'm sorry, HBO Max or Netflix or something like that are trying to get him to like sign a deal or something. And it's like, if you just do what you did before, it's gonna be a problem again. It's like, you did good this time. Let's just do what you want to do. Then it's like, okay, but then it won't be. I don't know. Like, it won't be coherent. It might just be a mess. You might just be trying to cash in again. Relax.
Yeah,
just relax, bro. Take a minute. Think about your plans, and then come back to the table. Jesus Lord. Yeah, but that I'm cool. I like the backbone of it. The writing is good. Better.
Yeah, and also I like the banter of each guy. I like the interactions, even though like some of it. So there's some of it that like it was a little stale and a little bit with like character interactions, like with the teamwork. But I did like thought for the most part there was a lot more banter with this one, and I enjoyed it. Like, especially like how they combine their powers together. Like what Cyborg and Aquaman during that fight, I was like, okay, that's I never thought to use it that way. But that's pretty cool. You know, and just like, and I will talk about characters like Ben Affleck's Batman. I dig.
You got more of that. Word. Yeah. We got a lot more of that.
Yeah. But yeah. So anyone wants to say anything else before we move on? Like what we like. We'll talk about like more stuff we like throughout the whole thing. But like we gotta like move on to All right. So we'll do what we didn't like. I don't know, Freddie. I wanted you to go first because you say you have a lot more opinions on what you didn't like with this.
I didn't like Steppenwolf, which I might talk about more. If we talk about the villains and stuff. Basically, I think in a brief, I think Steppenwolf was not the right choice for the villain in this movie, and I think he didn't parallel the movie. He didn't convey the movie's themes very well, which I'll talk about later. I didn't like I'll just mix in what I did and didn't like. A lot of it's character related when we talk about characters. Overall, from the structure, I don't think the movie needed to be this long. I said a couple of times. I think that they were trying to do too much. I think that some executive and producer decisions really detracted from this as a movie as a whole. But yeah, I feel like it'd be better to talk about things I didn't like as they come up organically than just listing off a bunch of things that'll seem like nitpicks when you're taken out of the context, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'll say this real quick. One thing I'll say I didn't like for this movie is the score kind of bothered me a little bit.
Ancient Lamentation. Every time she was on screen, I did not like that song.
Okay, I understood why. Like because Zack Snyder wants to like invoke the whole like Olympian god, like because these characters in a way they are gods. That's kind of how DC characters kind of work. But like just every fucking time, especially like with Wonder Woman, even like I don't understand. I understand why like they wanted her to have like a more ancient vibe like with her theme music, but you could just play her theme music. And her theme song is really fucking good. You know, as well as like when Aquaman left for Atlantis from Iceland, them like praying to him, I was like, good God, like come on. I understand like he's a god, but like Jesus, and it went for so long. Like
it did not need to. Speaking of the God things, that's something I will say I didn't like right now. I did not like the dark side came to Earth, thousands of years ago and got bodied by Zeus, some Atlanteans, and some people. Did not like that.
His ass, man.
They
Did not like that.
Bro.
Here's the thing, though. I give it. I mean, granted, because again, Whedon cut that scene lasts for 5. That scene lasts for 2 minutes. All right.
Yeah.
In the Whedon version, I like that. I also that's the one thing I like. I like that we got more of that scene because that scene is pretty fucking boss. I'm not even gonna lie. It's a pretty good fight. But like, I know why it bothers people because like it's fucking Darkseid we're talking about, but like this is Uxas Darkseid. He didn't get the fucking Omega effect yet. So like I that's my little leeway of like why they won so easily, but like I can understand why people are bothered by it, you know?
The scene was cool, but narratively, first off, Darkseid wouldn't get bodied like that. Second off, he wouldn't I don't think he would forget. Like you're telling me he got bodied that hard and then was like, oh, what planet was it?
That also did bother me. That also did bother me, you know, like, did they fucking give his ass amnesia because they bodied him that hard? Like,
yeah, they gave him the Bruce Banner treatment. That's exactly what happened, bro.
And also, I think that scene, this is more probably a Freddy notice, but I noticed that when he was talking about the leaders of man, the leaders of the Amazons, and the leaders of the Atlanteans were all white people. And I was like, what are you trying to say about this? The man's greatest words are a bunch of.
I will say this though, right? Yeah, I will say this though, right? And I remember watching a review that touched on this. When it comes to the Amazons specifically, there are a lot more black Amazons that I saw in this one than I did in the last one.
Yeah.
And it was funny because like Freddie, I thought of you when I was watching. It was like every time I saw black Amazons, I was like, wait, Nubia, like
I
you know,
want her in the movies.
So do I. But yeah, but like I understood that like they're all mostly white for the most part.
That should have been the time where like it would have been really cool to have people of all cultures like help fight off Darkseid, but no, it was just the Nordics. I was looking at that scene. There was 2 black people that showed up. Both were Amazons, and I was like, I didn't see a single Asian person during the fight. It was a very monochromatic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was something that bothers me, but it always bothers me when
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was done. That was the end of my statement. It always bothers me.
I'm like sorry because when I watch films, I have a terrible memory, so I also like forgetting things like over time. But like I just remember like what I think I liked about the movie was like the Amazon fight with Steppenwolf. I loved that a lot.
That was a really good fight.
That was fantastic. I just love like how he just like again contrasts with Whedon, like he shows him as badass, fierce fucking warrior, you know.
Yeah, they don't fear death. We're trying to stop it.
I love that when they're like,
and then we're gonna drop it into the water.
And we didn't see the fucking thing drop in the Whedon cut. And they just closed it in the fucking Whedon cut. They didn't drop it off the cliff.
He jumps out of it. It's like, okay.
Yeah. I'm like when Apollos said, like I remember like me and my girlfriend were like we had the same reaction when she said like show them your fears, like we have none. I was like, ooh, like you know, that's kind of tough, you know?
Right.
But I'm just thinking like what stuff I didn't like. I mean, I didn't like. I thought we needed more Superman. There wasn't a lot of Superman in here.
I feel like it was a Captain Marvel situation where, like, if he could solve every problem, having him too much could be like, well, why doesn't Superman just beat his ass?
And that is a problem I had with the final fight scene. Once Superman showed up, there was no point where Steppenwolf got the upper hand over Superman, which made Aquaman and Wonder Woman irrelevant. They were basically sitting there. He would hit them, so he would hit Steppenwolf towards them so they could get some pity assist points. But they weren't. Superman very clearly the main theme of this movie, or at least a main theme of this movie, was stronger together. They brought it up. Batman brought it up in part 1 when he was recruiting Aquaman. Wonder Woman brought it up with Cyborg, who felt like he was alone in the world, that they needed to be together. Even the MacGuffins, the mother boxes, needed to be brought together to use their world-changing power. Yeah. And Steppenwolf was not a threat that answered the question stronger together because Superman was able to body him by himself.
Yeah.
So I think that there's I don't know. There's one change I would have made to this movie that I think would have answered the question better, and that would have been if Granny Goodness was the villain instead. Because
you just love Granny Goodness, don't you?
I do love Granny Goodness, but just thinking about the themes of the Snyderverse, So the Granny Goodness is the leader of the female Furies, a team that are strong, that are made up of people who are individually strong that work together to be stronger. A team that is brought together by a leader that uses fear as their primary motivator. It would have been a really nice dark reflection if Granny versus Batman, who is recruiting a team of people who want to be there and trust each other, was contrasted with Granny Goodness, because it would have shown what Superman was proving to him in Batman v Superman, that he needs to let go of fear and trust and open up to people. It would have showed not only what Batman would have been if Superman didn't get a Batman v Superman didn't happen, but what the Justice League could have been, a team of terror that didn't work, that came together to fight another equally powerful team. I think that would have been a better exploration of this movie's theories of Stronger Together.
Mark.
Wow.
That's my argument for why it should have been Granny and the Furies.
Okay. I can fuck with that.
If anything, I would say that if there was one change to help solidify the together stronger message, would be that since Superman literally just came back to life and he's wearing the black suit, and the black suit has significance that he's trying to it's going to try to heal you as you are awake.
Yeah. They didn't
he had a throwaway line where he was like, I'm not as strong as I was, but I can still help. It's like, okay, so that means you actually need some people to help you. Word.
That was one thing I didn't like. Is I can say something I didn't like. I didn't like the fact they didn't do the whole Kryptonian healing suit thing that they didn't like the comics, because the fact that the moment they have him, he's full powers, the rest of the team is fucking useless at that point, you know. If it was a healing suit, as you said before, he's not at full strength yet, that makes more sense to have the more of the teamwork aspect happening. But I will say though, I did like that they did show the teamwork stuff before he showed up, and I love that.
Yes, but that's the problem. They were showing the theme of Stronger Together, and then once this one person came up, it was all the Superman show. And that leads me to something else I didn't like. I didn't like. The parademons. I get that they're necessary, but I think another weakness of this was a lot of the cool moments between Aquaman, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, and Flash were basically against mooks. They were against hero fodder. The parademons have no personality. They didn't really constitute a threat because there was no point where they're actually hurting somebody.
Yeah.
So
just look at me.
I didn't really like them as a villain with Steppenwolf, because they didn't feel any weight behind them besides them kidnapping Atlanteans and dragging people to Stryker's Island. I just didn't think that they were the most compelling minions that could have been available, especially when someone else comes packaged with 5 people with unique characters, unique abilities that could have showcased Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Cyborg's powers better by having them fight people who could actually stand a chance.
Dude, the exact same thing happened for Steppenwolf, because who did he fight? He fought fodder as well, come to think of it.
Yeah.
And then just minor characters instead of the actual clash.
The only time in the final thing, he fought against Wonder Woman and Aquaman. That was a cool fight scene when they were working together. But then once Superman showed up, they were irrelevant. If it was the Furies, not only would there have been one member per team they could have fight, they could have had some nice parallels. Lashina, a woman, an ancient warrior who uses a whip, versus Wonder Woman. Stampa, a proud warrior who uses brute strength, versus Aquaman. Mad Harriet, a quick, crazy speedster, versus Flash. It would have been so nice.
Yeah, right.
Sarda, a big person who also hates being in the thing. They could have showed her what a true family was like, and then she defects from Darkseid and joins the Justice League like she always does. Gosh, DC, hire me right now.
Okay, I'll give you that. That sounds actually a lot better than what we got, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It's fucking hell. But see, that it sounds a lot better.
It does.
But hey, we got the Snyder Cut at least.
Yeah.
We got one thing at a time. Justice League 2. Justice League 2.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'll say this real quick, just to say my last thing I'll say before we move on. So, what did you guys think of the violence of this movie? Because obviously this is rated R, so there's a lot more blood. There's a few more there was 2 F-bombs I think I heard in this movie. So what are your thoughts on that? That's one thing I'll say that I liked. I love violent, gritty shit.
Yeah,
So
it gave me the boys
I
kind of
enjoyed
vibe a little bit.
Yeah.
Like a more movie The Boys kind of vibe with how like Superman started like lasering like this Steppenwolf.
Like the moment, like the most like thing that everyone can remember with that to showcase like the violence of this movie is Mirror. What Mirror fucking do to step out. That shit was fucking insane. I was like, oh my god, like that would make sense. That makes sense if you have water powers, you know?
Yeah.
Or like Steppenwolf fighting the Amazons and like, because I remember there's one shot of like Steppenwolf axing a fucking Amazon off a horse.
Right
In the Whedon cut, in the Whedon cut, she just like got pushed back, which like doesn't make any sense, but it is whatever. It's PG-13. But then in this one, I usually see fucking blood, and then he's just fucking getting shot with arrows and taking those rope arrows and like flinging a horse to the other end. I was like, what the fuck? Like all the scenes again. Like I think granted, it could be much. It could be a little bit too much, sometimes. But like it enhanced the stakes and the intensity of these characters, and with Steph,
people are dying. We're seeing people die from this guy. There's actual damage. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually didn't think the violence ever bordered on gratuitous. I think it was necessary and intentional violence. And I like that in R-rated movies where the things that they're showcasing are intentional. Because, yes, if you're bringing a world-ending threat who's just pushing people around, there's no weight to that. But people actually dying. I think Silas's death scene was really, like, well videoed, but also well conveyed because he died gruesomely to save his son or protect his son. And so, to mark the box for his son, but basically indirectly. But I think they used it very well. It didn't seem like, I love the Deadpool movies, but sometimes it felt like they got an R rating and they're like, let's just make this as violent as possible. Like we didn't need to see someone fly into a wood chipper. It didn't add anything to the story. But I think the violence here was actually used as a narrative device, which I like.
Yeah. All right. So, any other final thoughts of like what people didn't like before we move on to next?
And it's just it's a me thing. It's the structure of a film, but the epilogue, I felt like the dream sequence could have been. Let me see. It was what was the end? It was the dream sequence, and then the Martian Manhunter, and then that's right. So it's like the nightmare dream sequence, and then Martian Manhunter. I felt like one, if not both of those, could have been. I mean, this is a Snyder cut, but to have them like, I felt like there was like multiple endings for the epilogue. Like it was just like an ending after an ending with the same characters, an ending, an ending, an ending. I felt like before the nightmare sequence started, since it was so jarring, it could have been like at the end of the movie, like a post-credit thing, maybe, possibly. But it just is like, okay, the movie's over, we all won. Hey, we should make up a league right here, table, 7 chairs, blah blah blah, and then cut to. It's apocalypse. Everything's crap. Everybody's dead. This is super depressing. I'm like, okay, this was a big jump. And I'm like, is this? And it kept going and going. I was like, whoa, are we going to get like another like 25 minutes of this? Because I don't know. I'm not sure, but I'm kind of like intrigued, like what's going on and stuff. It felt like, for my thing, it felt like too many endings. Put either short some stuff, make it a special feature, release it online or something, or just move it to the end of the movie. But... and then the Martian Manhunter thing too. It's like that could have been a little bit better too.
Yeah.
Wait, we got
thing. I liked his conversation with Lois, like the world needs Lois. But when he walked out of the apartment building and then turned into his Martian form in the middle of the building and then turned into the black dude to walk away, unnecessary. I think it would have been a lot more powerful if he just went straight from Martha to black guy. Because in the fans, we would have known, there's only one shapeshifter who walks around in blackface. So we would have known it was Martian Manhunter. And then at the end of the movie, when he comes to Bruce Wayne, that's when he could shapeshift. The epilogue. I really did not like that conversation between Batman.
I will say my thoughts for the epilogue when we discuss like when that time comes at the end. But
that's right. I forgot.
It's fine. It's good. But we got a comment from Lee from Billy here. He said, "Gotta agree with Freddy on the use of rated R violence as a plot device as opposed to just shock factor." Yeah, so he agrees with you. All right, so you want to like keep moving on? I don't know if anyone has any thoughts. I can't think of anything because like my memory's shit. So like I just All right, but all right. So we'll talk about now.
Go on to what Freddy said then.
Yeah.
You can clearly tell when the studio is treating regular moviegoers as like idiots. where they have to explain everything as it's being shown to you versus building mystery and being like making you think, who is this versus like you're still questioning who is this, but then it's more of like you went from Martha to Martian Manhunter to show us that to then show us the other guy. Okay, who is this though? And I'm more like, what's his purpose versus like, wait.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because like it's kind of funny because like I wanted to go back and watch that scene again because like I honestly I was distracted at that time, like I wasn't paying attention to what they were like was the conversation between Martian Manhunt, like Martha and Lois, so I didn't really know what they were talking about. So like I didn't really like that's on my fault. That's on my part because I didn't really know what the fuck they're talking about. But
that same thing happened to me. I was not paying attention, and then I saw her turn into Martian Manhunter, and I was like, wait, what? So I had to go back and rewatch the conversation to get what they were talking about. And that's the other thing.
Yeah, what was the conversation exactly, Freddie? Can you like briefly say what it is? Yeah,
it's basically her telling Lois that she is also needed in the world and she needs to come back to it. Like one way she can be a hero like Superman is to stop hiding away in her apartment and to go back to doing her journalism or like re-enter the world because she has shut herself out of the world since Superman died.
Which is a difference from the Whedon cut because she was still working at Daily Planet in the
Whedon
version.
That's another thing. There's a problem with cameos. Like I love cameos like the Green Lantern ring that flew away when Darkseid was being bodied on Earth in the ghost scene. Like the Atom cameo. But the Martian Manhunter cameo doesn't make sense to me because there's no way in hell a world-ending threat is going on and Martian Manhunter's not getting involved.
Exactly.
Why is he flying around?
They haven't paid me enough yet to appear. They can.
He would just show up, be like, "Yo, you don't know who I am, but I'm here to help." As a matter of fact, other comics and shows have him just show up because they need him.
I actually have a fun fact when we talk about like more like the cameos later, but like that I just got told this morning, and I was like, okay, that makes sense why he's in the film. But yeah, so I guess we want to talk about characters and stuff now.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll talk about just first thing we'll talk about like right now is like the Apocalypse stuff because like so Steppenwolf. I mean, Freddie already went into detail like why he doesn't like Steppenwolf, but like I'll say I liked Steppenwolf a lot more in this one than I did in the last one. Again, we got more. Okay, my favorite thing again to iterate more of what we liked. I really liked that now we actually heard that like the ant-life equation is a thing in this film in these movies, which again makes me like Zack Snyder is paying attention to comics a little bit, like which people, I mean, it's funny because people always accuse him of like not like reading comics, but I'm like, I mean, he's reading them a little bit, like yeah, the ant-life equation is a thing. The fact that like Steppenwolf got did like he did Darkseid dirty. And now Darkseid's like, fuck you, conquer 50,000 worlds, and then come back to me for my forgiveness. Know what I mean? Like that I love. I was like, okay, that's great. Motivation, like with that, like Steppenwolf was great. Okay, was I really enjoyed.
I like Desaad.
Well, Desaad, I thought was cool. As like Desaad's like the advisor of like Darkseid, right? Like he's like the second hand. Okay, yeah, I dug that.
And torturer.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I dug that as well. I mean, I just like what I got with the Apocalypse stuff. Okay, Darkseid, I'll say right now, I love Darkseid when he's on screen. I don't know. I mean, I just think
he will. You get like giddy and excited when he starts to pop up.
Dude, his voice, whoever the voice actor is for that, oh my god, like shot myself when I heard him speak.
I would have liked him to be, what's the word? He was kind of small. Like,
yeah,
supposed to be this big imposing threat. So like he should have been built more. But
sure.
I think he was interesting. I liked how they were able to convey his character without him having much screen time. Besides his whole being bodied on Earth, but the fact he's a delegator, he doesn't care about his servants, he's with loyalty and fear. I think they used him well. I have mixed feelings on Darkseid, but I like him as a character sometimes.
Wait, we got hold on, sorry, we got a comment from Billy again. He says, the annoying choice that the ant-life equation is a literal equation written on the surface of the planet. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I thought it was cool at first.
Chalkboard in the ground.
I thought it was cool at first, and I actually thought about it after I watched it. I'm like, nah, this is kind of dumb.
No.
But again, this is a comic book movie, so like anything dumb can happen in a comic book film. Sorry, Freddie, continue. I cut you off.
Oh no, I was gonna say I liked the view of Apocalypse we got. I like that we can see Granny Goodness on the right side, so maybe she's
really tall. I was like, that like she's a little lanky, like you know, like
she doesn't seem that granny, but we know Hollywood hates older women, so of course they weren't going to get her to be an actual like I don't know. I kind of wanted like I don't know Betty White or Meryl.
I was just about to say that. Damn it!
Like put Betty White in a muscle suit and have her be intimidating.
Oh my gosh, that would be fun.
I'm gonna rip your heart out, like
Elizabeth Warren. I was like, this person looks like they want to give me Medicare, not forcing my orphans.
Because like, you know what's funny? A lot of people have been on social media have been comparing like what Granny Goodness looks to like Judi Dench. Like I don't know if you know Judi Dench. She's like she was in the Bond films. She's mom in the Bond films. But then Zack Snyder said that like, oh wait, like we and the actual model for Granny Goodness is like is an aunt of his. That because they needed someone to be a model for Granny Goodness real quick, so they just used the facial scans of his aunt for Granny Goodness. So I think it's a funny fact. But,
Love that.
Betty White that's funny. I wonder if we ever see her, how she's gonna speak. Because I love like in like Justice League Unlimited, like Justice League, that like she has like a very deep man voice. Like I don't know how they're gonna let her speak in if they ever have her on screen.
I want her to sound like she makes the best cookies, is what I want to hear. Like, you're threatening to kill me. You sound like such a sweet old lady.
I don't like season 3 of Young Justice, but I do like what they do with Granny's voice, where she is where she can do both the caring, like the caring, overbearing grandma, but also switch it up on the instant and be like intimidating and be like, oh shit, I don't want to fuck with this person.
Yeah, but I mean, I did enjoy what Apocalypse looks like. I mean, like the fire pits. Like, the cool thing about Apocalypse means like the fire pits and all that stuff. I think it's really cool. And like the parademons. I mean, I like that they're parademons because again, they're doing the whole Justice League War like thing, like setup with this. Like, I like the way the parademons look. I like the way Darkseid looks. I like.
Was changed, right?
What?
I'm sorry, but the parademon design was changed, or no?
A little bit. I mean, like you can. Like they were added a lot more like darker textures and stuff because again it has to match with his dark aesthetic that he likes to do. And but they're a lot more creepier looking. I mean, I liked also that fact that like there were parademons that were left on Earth that went dormant when he left. Because that actually makes sense to like why they're on Earth in the first place without Steppenwolf being there. Because in the Whedon cut they were just there. And like even when he was in the portals. Like in the boom tubes, they came out of the boom tubes. In the Whedon cut, it was just Steppenwolf by himself. So like, it's just like that like little like brief explanation like why there are parademons on Earth already. I dug that.
Don't get me wrong, I liked the parademons, and of course, there's Apocalypse. You have to have parademons. I just had some critiques about how they were used in the film.
Yeah, I get it. But yeah, from what I got, I mean, from all the dumb anti-life equation stuff aside, and what I like what Steppenwolf looks like in this one than the last one. It was funny because like his voice even sounds different. It's the same actor who voices Steppenwolf from the original cut too. Like there's a lot more like bass in his voice, which makes it a little more intimidating a little bit. In the other one, it's just like it's a guy talking and monologuing. The armor I think is really cool. Like I like the whole like metal symbiote type look. I mean, it's weird, but I mean, I dug it for what it was. I mean, because he's really ugly, like without it, but like he's supposed to be ugly.
It provided a lot of emotional body language because, like, Darkseid's showing up, it recedes. He's showing like his humbleness. I was like, whoa! I
love that. The fact that like it's a more like traditional like tribal like warrior hierarchy, where like when you're bowing to a leader, you have to be like de-throw like your armor because it's a sign of respect. That's accurate, to like how things like was working out. Yeah,
that suit was sick.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, he's just a turtle boy. Like, Steppenwolf's just a turtle boy. and I thought it was nice, you know. But like he also had great action scenes. Again, with the Amazon fight and all that stuff, there was a lot more extended versions of those scenes because some of the shots were the same from some of the shots from Whedon's cut. But, like there was a lot more like extra goodness to show like how threatening and like brutal and violent this man is. You know, he made a fucking Amazon explode. Like when he
threw horses. Like they were nothing.
What the fuck? It's wild, you know. But from what it's worth, I did like what we got with Apocalypse. Young Darkseid. I mean, he looks a lot better as actual Darkseid, not as like Josstice. But like, I mean, I still like the spear is still weird, but like it's fine. Like it's whatever. But we got a cool, awesome like fight scene out of that with that flashback scene. So I mean, yeah. That's I dug it. It's as long as it's better than that bullshit we got last time, I'm totally fine with it.
I'd be interested to see what they would do next with if they continue the Apocalypse storyline. I don't think they're going to because I know
we don't know.
Yeah, but I would be interesting to see because with what's his face with Steppenwolf out of commission, the only real fighter besides Darkseid himself are Calabac and the female Furies, so they would have to introduce them. So, and you know, I would love to see my girls on team. Also, because we have in how many supervillain movies we have yet to have a primary female antagonist against a superhero team. Oh, and Hera in Hela in what's it called? But they didn't really fight her.
Yeah.
So there's one.
Also, I'll say this real quick. I thought the fact that at the end of the last fight that we got, the fact that they decided to fucking FedEx Steppenwolf in half to Darkseid, that was the best thing ever.
Yo, that was such a boss move.
That was a cool move.
That was such a and a little on you.
Yeah.
Little,
exactly.
Damn.
Fred was like,
peace.
We're gonna express mail your fucking son to you. Good luck.
It was a good scene. And also, that was at least a scene where they needed to utilize everyone because Superman wasn't going to kill him. So Wonder Woman had to do the coup de grace.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that Darkseid just stepped on his skull, I was like, you fucking failure. I love that.
I was like, you're savage. He doesn't even care. Okay. He said, fine, thanks. I get to throw him in my fire as fuel.
Yeah.
See you good.
If you fail Darkseid, you're as good as dead. That's why people fight to the death for him. Because if you go back to him saying, yo, dog, I didn't get it, you're dead.
Yeah.
And his death is worse than other people's deaths.
Word. Yeah, but that's my thought on the Apocalypse stuff. But like Granny Goodness being hella tall, I was like, oh my god, like she's literally like 7 feet tall. Like what the fuck? But I dug it for what it was. Even though there's some things that are just like, I wouldn't go that route with these characters, but it's fine.
Her design? Oh, that's right. Quick thing. Granny Goodness's design, I kept thinking she kind of looks like Ozymandias a little bit from like a distant.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And what was the advisor's name?
Desaad.
Isn't that do you guys remember Ready Player One?
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that the same character design they did for the one dude that was played by T.J. Miller, that had the cloak or whatever? That was like the
similar.
Kinda.
Because I was like, hey, this guy reminds me of the dude from Ready Player One.
Yeah. Because in the comics, like, which I dug, like they look like they look like Steppenwolf looks like a person. Like Desaad looks like a person. I like it like they're actually like aliens because that makes sense, you know. It's like, how did Darkseid spit out a fucking perfectly like human baby the way his ugly ass looks, you know? It doesn't make any sense.
Calabac has like bear qualities.
Yeah, I mean, but like that's why like Orion, like Darkseid's other son Orion bothers me because like he should look ugly.
Damn nice white.
Yeah. But that's what I'll say about the I enjoyed it for what it was. I dug it. But
no, I'm sorry. Continue.
No, I'm saying like I won't have any like final thoughts on like Justice League and stuff like that. On the Snyder on the Apocalypse stuff.
Game.
Yeah.
No, I'd say that I would just agree with Freddie. I would have liked it if he was more imposing. That's about it.
I'm trying to find like a quick image of like so our audience if they have. I mean that's so we can just like this. I like this shot like Yeah, like this shot, I like this shot a lot of them, like with the army and all that stuff. I think it's cool. Um, like Darkseid looks awesome. I like this Dark. I think he looks good, especially like when he was like the way he sits on his throne like this. I love that. That's so cool. That's so boss. But I
I think it
mean,
was cool.
yeah. So I mean, that's all I gotta say about it. I enjoyed it, but like Darkseid, I was like that voice, bro. I was like, that's yep, that's Darkseid.
I just need to hear him say Kryptonian or something. I just need to hear that.
Wait, before we go, that was one thing that bothered me. When Steppenwolf was first reporting to Decide, he said, this is a great planet. There's no lantern, no Kryptonian to protect it. Why would they know? It's always a surprise that there's a strong Kryptonian because Kryptonians are only strong with a yellow sun. So I was like, why would a Kryptonian be a problem? You guys shouldn't know about Kryptonians having super strength because that's a surprise when Darkseid first learns about that.
You're right.
That's true.
That's a small nitpick.
Yeah, no, it's makes sense. I agree. But yeah, should we move on to like an actual like character? Main characters now. Yeah, Granny Goodness in the back. I thought she was short. Then I actually saw her walk away. I was like, dude, she hella tall. This is. I don't know how I feel about this. but word. All right. So now to go on to character stuff. So the way I ranked them. I had my own ranking of like my best to like to like least favorite character in the movie. Well, we all can agree. Our favorite character is fucking Cyborg. This movie is woo. All right. I like the Whedon cut. Cyborg it doesn't really do much. He really gives the vibe of just like it's just everything with him is so quick that like you don't really know any like backstory, any like motivation with his character or like him like battling his trauma. Like there's brief instances of that, but like dude, we get so much character development with Cyborg, so much, and it's like, oh my god, I loved it. Like I actually liked Cyborg in this movie. So I thought I was gonna hate him in this movie because I hate him in the last one. So like it's oh my god, yeah. So anyone want to start talking about Cyborg, dude?
Cyborg has daddy issues that is well established. It's that absentee like father or absentee parent kind of thing. It's like too busy for you, can't help it. And then since we mentioned before that these are basically like gods and like the whole music is trying to incorporate that, it's like almost Cyborg is like also trying to figure out like the transition of being a mortal man, then dead, and then becoming a god basically. Because his dad's like, listen, technology is at your fingertips. You can control the world if you wanted to, dude. So you got to figure out how to best do that for you. And it's like it's almost like coming in a coming of age, not a coming of age story, but like coming into godhood almost. Mm-hmm. Like dealing with other people at this level, and then also figuring out like my power is immense, but I like to help little people. Like, okay, this lady can't feed her kid. I'm gonna give her 10 grand, not even 100 grand, real quick, so she could feed her family and live somewhere. It's like, okay, he's doing the right thing. He's doing. Things.
I'll say this real quick. Because the Cyborg being on the league is it was a New 52 idea. Idea. I don't like Cyborg on the Justice League. Honestly, I still will say this. I don't like him on the Justice League. Mm-hmm. For me, he's a Titan. He'll always be a Titan. There are other better, more well-known, powerful black characters that I think are better than Cyborg, in my opinion. Like for me, I'd rather have Mr. Terrific on the league than fucking Cyborg. Or but the way they treat Cyborg, like how powerful he actually is, because no one really thinks about how powerful Cyborg is, especially because we have the internet and like operating systems and all that stuff. We're like, most like everyone's lives is data when it comes we have a digital fucking footprint for a reason. So like the fact that like they showcase that like Cyborg can literally he can nuke the fucking world if you wanted to, but the fact that I think he chooses not to is what makes him him. And the fact that his dad was like the whole tape that dad explained like, hey, like this is like what you can do and like like how you should interpret this, which I love. The fact like that Cyborg with the technological interface that he has, he is inevitably a part of the system, and the fact that like people's lives are a part of this fucked up system, he can change the system for the better, literally internally, and it's like that's so cool.
I like Cyborg. I really liked. They did a very good ascension story with him. I think I loved the football stuff. Loved the connection with his mom. Um, I didn't like how normally his accident is his dad's fault. Like he goes to the lab, he throws a tantrum about how his dad didn't come to his football game and how his dad cares more about science than him. Something bad happens and his dad fixes him, and then they get that other dynamic of him thinking of him being like, "Oh, now I'm just your science project. You don't care about me," and that whole thing. So I didn't really like that it was just a random car accident that killed his mom.
It also did bother me as well.
But I very much liked his character arc. I loved his story. I loved the connection with the Unity. The fact that he was able to insert that not only is he a machine, but he still had his humanity, and that was what allowed him to separate them. Because that, for me, that kind of built upon the stronger together thing. Because he is a unity of man and machine. So I really liked how they talk. I loved his conversation with Wonder Woman. I just liked his interactions. His whole "it wants to fly" thing is so cute. And Aquaman being like, "Okay, dude, sure, whatever."
Yeah.
I very much enjoyed Cyborg. And I felt like I was telling my sister this. This is one of the few times on the Justice League where he felt less like a MacGuffin and more like an actual character.
Yeah.
Like, I love the DC animated movies, but in Justice League, not Doom, Justice League War, Justice League, when he just felt like he was there, he was the mother box person, he interfaced with technology. We didn't get to see as much of his personality. We did get to see him with Shazam a lot, which was nice, but here they actually dealt with like the human part. And also, so I very much enjoyed what they did with Cyborg in this movie. He was my top character for sure.
Especially like the stuff with the one line that he said at the end, because his whole entire arc is the fact like embracing who he is, like who he is now, not trying to focus on like what he was before. Yeah. Like, you know, he sees himself as a broken man. That then when he separates the mother boxes and that they show themselves as like his human form, his mom and his dad, and the fact that he says like he's like, "I'm not broken and I'm not alone." I was like, "Oh my god! Like what the fuck?" Like that's amazing. That's amazing character growth, and I like, and the fact that like, you know, he sees himself in the mind, also the mindscape in his head. I love that a lot too. The fact that he always sees himself in the movie as his old self, because that's what he rejects his newfound like life as like a cyborg. And then like they have that cool panel where like it goes to like, you know, the backshot of like the mother box, this guy looking like him, and you see his human form come up, and then like it pans and you see like his cyborg self now, because like he's accepting who he is. That like he's not broken. And I was like, oh my god, it was so good. It was so good.
I would like to see just a little bit more meat on that metal. Like,
I will say this. I will say this real quick. I don't like the fact that Cyborg is just a head. Like, give him a penis, please. He needs a penis.
That's not the part I would have liked.
I know, I'm just kidding.
I like him having the meat metal arm and the pure metal arm. Like him having the meat. Like you talked about his appearance in Doom Patrol. I like his appearance in Teen Titans. Where he has like the meat interspliced with the metal. He just gets more of a cyborg vibe. He looks kind of like an android in that, like maybe a Terminator.
Yeah, like the RoboCop look is basically it. It's like it's just the head with the helmet. Sometimes it's like
Also, another nitpick. I like blue Cyborg. I don't like the red eye. They're like the red chest. I like when the lines are blue.
So that's something that they did in the Whedon one, where he was like, it was like towards the ending of the movie that he was like, I guess being buddy with the Flash. And he changes his like look and color to be blue and like different. Like this is very angular. He changes it to be more rounder too and blue. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. It's like right now he looks threatening. He looks pretty.
And plus, like the scene where like which was what I loved when like he was explaining like his origin to like with the mother boxes as well as like his origin, like how he became Cyborg. The fact that like we actually saw his accident. Like I was surprised that I was like, wow, they actually like, because the only thing we saw of his accident was in the footage from Batman vs Superman. Like now we actually see like what actually happened. And thing is like it's kind of wild because like we always see like a head and just metal, but like he still has the top half, right? Like his top half is still there. Like so, like you know,
where'd it go?
Where'd it go? Really, where did it go?
But like, dude, Cyborg, man, so good. The thing is, like, I feel bad because I was talking shit on Ray Fisher for years on his performance as Cyborg. I want to say that I apologize to Ray Fisher, partly, like, not all the way, because like you still kind of dig riding Zack Snyder a little bit too much, but like I mean, dude, he killed it. He was the heart of the movie. Zack Snyder said he was the heart
I
of
would say
the
so.
film, and he delivered. So yeah,
I give
dude,
Cyborg
Cyborg.
9.9 out of 10 for this movie. He could have got that extra 0.1 if he just gave us one booyah, but you know.
Supposedly he didn't want to do it. Like Whedon made him do the booyah, but like.
Wait, so the Snyder cut out the booyah, but there was one in the Whedon cut?
Yeah.
No, it was Whedon's idea. Zack Snyder didn't want to do it at all. He didn't do it at all.
Oh.
Yeah. But I will say this one thing. I keep losing my train of thought, man. Okay, no, you know what? It'll come back to me. But yeah, Cyborg, his arc. I mean, also Silas. Just to talk real quick about Silas. His arc is like, you know, again, like, you know, being like, again, I'm not gonna say a shitty dad, but he was kind of a shitty dad for not showing up. I mean, yeah, he was a shitty dad for not showing up, but like the fact that like he was again like explaining like his motivation for like why he did what he did, as well as like, you know, trying to like have Victor like, you know, adapt to like his new life. At the same time, like saying like, listen, I don't want you to sulk around in the house for the rest of your life. Like, dude, you can like make again, like to go along with like what Barry's like, you like make something of yourself. You can change a lot of life with what I've given you. But at the end of the day, like you being a cyborg is not what I love you, because like you're never like my the best creation I've ever made. It's like you as a son, and I'm proud of you and all that stuff. And like it made his death a lot more impactful for me when it comes to like when he tried to like mark the mother box. I was like, dude, like, especially because like the scene where like they walk in to Star Labs, and like he sees his son like with the League, and like, look, like he's like look at the man that you become, you know, like with these heroes, man. It's like it's so cool. I was like, dude, oh, so good. Yeah, but anyone want to say anything else about Cyborg real quick?
Nah, you pretty much covered it.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm good with it.
Yeah, the Mindscape is pretty dope. Like I also like when I was watching it, like they had like the shot of like the bank and like the Bulls and the Bears fighting. I remember like one of the people I was watching with, they're like, why does this make sense? And I'm like, Bulls, Bears, stock market. You can manipulate the stock market. Come on, people, pay attention. Yeah. I was like, come on.
But just think about it a little bit, my friend.
Mm-hmm, all right, yeah. No, listen, it's all good, but like, yeah, like also like the fact that like he's changed that woman's life. I thought it was so sweet. I was like, you know what? He's kind of a digital god in a sense, because like a lot of stuff is connected to the internet.
And I really like that, because like if I had digital powers, like Bezos would be and Musk, they'd be broke in a second. Like just all that out of their accounts, redistribute this wealth, be like,
word.
I identified with that. And his dad telling him not to do that, not with the cause, not a revolutionary.
No, wait, no, his dad said that he could do that.
He said he said that the greater force of power would be not doing it. And like that's what he was trying to convince them to do. And I was like, no,
he meant not. He meant like not nuking the world.
Oh, okay. Yes, rob these rich people.
Yeah, he meant like not nuke, not like destroying the fucking world, because he probably basically could if he wanted to. But like because as I said before, like, you know, he is the system, so he can change the system for the better for people that are basically detrimented by it. So like that's what he meant. Also, in the beginning with his mom, that I love, where like his mom was called. He called him to the office because he changed his friend's grade, and he's like, and his principal's like, hey, like he changed his friend's grade. That's not a good. That wasn't the good thing to do. Like, are you sure? Like, you don't know the backstory of these people. She like her parents got sick, and like she couldn't continue to go here. So you know, like the fact that like, you know, especially like when it comes to like POC like POC people in this country, the fact that like, yeah, like a lot of these like higher up men who control wealth, who control like education, all that stuff, are white men with privilege, and they don't know the backstory of these people, the situation with these people, you know. So I really like that. Like, you know, he could like even before he was Cyborg, he was still trying to be he was a good man before he was even Cyborg, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah. But yeah, also I'll say this real quick. This is my last thing I'll say. The whole I was waiting for the whole like you should probably move scene since the first trailer of this movie came out, and the fact that it wasn't in the Whedon cut. You know that scene where he like stops the car when he fights Superman.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, you should probably move. Oh, that was the coolest shit ever. And then when I didn't see the Whedon cut, I was like, God damn it! I was like, come on. So now that I actually saw it now, I was just like, I was so happy. So
Wait.
What else I'll say about Cyborg? I think he had the most interactions with the rest of the cast. Out of maybe Batman had more, but I really liked him. One of my favorite scenes of the movie was when Aquaman was fighting the parademons, got thrown back. Cyborg caught him, was like, "Yo, I got you. You're lucky I was here." Threw him forward, and Aquaman was enjoying it the whole time.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That was in the that scene was in the regular cut as well, but like the dialogue was slightly different.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah, but yeah, overall, Cyborg, Ray Fisher, hats off to you, sir. You did a really good job, and I'm sorry for talking shit. But you're still writing Zack Snyder's dick a little bit too hard, but it's fine. The moment he compares, the reason why I'm saying this is because like he compared Cyborg to Dr. Manhattan, and I was like, no, I'm sorry, no, that's not how that works, bro. but other than that, he did a great job. All right, but so should we move on to the next character?
Who is next?
Which is the Flash. The Flash, dude. I love the way they do the Flash in this movie. Oh my gosh. Because the thing is, I did not like him in the Whedon version because they didn't really give him much. They didn't really give him much like anything to like about because a lot of the crude jokes and like all that stuff that was in the Whedon cut. Some of it was a lot of it was with the Flash. Like the whole like boob falling, like him falling with Wonder Woman's boobs, and him being like extremely awkward towards Wonder Woman. Well, there was some of that here, but like there wasn't a lot of it, you know.
Yeah, when it came to her, it was just kind of like, "Oh, hi, you're very pretty. Do you know if she's dating anyone, dude?" Like,
yeah,
like it was very kind of just like innocent, like, "Yeah, I like her. I have a crush on her." It's like, okay,
yeah.
I was gonna say that I do like that he's also established as being smart, and he's not a Peter Parker kind of character or like that dialed all the way to 11. It's like he knows what he's talking about. He's smart. He has other personality traits besides just being the joke machine. I was like, all right, cool. He knows when he's serious. He knows when things are funny. He's cool about things. Like, I liked it.
Exactly.
I enjoyed it. I gotta say, no, not there.
This is probably, as I said before, like again, the effects, for this version for the Flash are 10 times better than they did in the because like it wasn't Zack Snyder didn't like in the Whedon cut it was just like crazy ass lightning that and he did when he was like doing the goofy ass run a lot, but like in Whedon's version of like I love the way he does the Speed Force. Like it's just like it's such a cool take on it. Like again, like to reiterate the whole like it's a dimensional like perception thing. Like when he speeds, it's like a speed symbol that activates, and then that's when you have the aura that he slips into when he's about to run, and like the light. I thought it was so cool, and just the fact that like because the Flash is so fast, you don't actually see him run around. He just blinks everywhere, and it's like dude, like it makes sense, like like, and the fact that like again like the fact because I remember Zack Snyder in an interview was like like he doesn't like the fact that Flash can just lift and carry people away, like carry people, because it would fucking explode if they did that, like in real life, because in the Whedon version he went another change from the Whedon the Snyder cut, like Whedon actually has the Flash like rescue the scientists like one by one, right? In the Snyder cut version he doesn't do that because if he knew he did, they would fucking die anyway. So like it's
he's just zipping everywhere, just like, this is good. You guys are good. You need any help?
He's more of like the scout than like the rescuing type, which I dug. Dude, okay, the best scene for me when running like speedster scene in the Flash for me, that rubble scene. Good God, that was the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen with the Flash, like in live action.
Rubble scene.
You don't remember where like he
snapped everything.
Yeah, he catches he catches all the rubble that's about to fall on those people, and he just all over the place. It was beautifully done. I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. Like like
I really like the precision they did with him, like the fact that he was doing all with like such precise small movements, like when he just poked Wonder Woman's sword, or back when he was fighting the monsters, how he wasn't doing punches and kicks, he was doing like shoves and pushes against the parody, and you'd see the effect.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's just. Oh, sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
No. I'm agreeing with Freddie. I agree. It's like it was just you don't need to do anything crazy. Just use your momentum. Bam, they're done.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, dude, the Flash, man. Oh man, he was just. And plus, like again, we got that even though it was exposition, but like the backstory with his dad, like his motivations, the character with his father, and like why he does what he does, like eventually trying to get him out of there, and like the advice that his dad gives, like again, because we got like barely any of like that. It was mentioned in the Whedon Cut, but it wasn't more elaborate. Like his dad, like wants him, like stop focusing on him, dude. I'm gonna be in jail for the rest of my life. Like, come on now, like, just dude, like that line where he said like build your like don't focus on your own past, make your own future. Again, alluding to like the crazy shit he does later on is such a good line because again, it's like that's the reality of things. Like, we gotta keep moving forward. Like that's how dwelling on the past is not gonna do you any good.
Damn, his dad had no faith. It's like, bro, it's a pipe dream. You're not gonna be in the way to get me out of here. Just focus on your life. Like, Dad, let me try. Come on.
I did really like the scene at the end where he got I forget which job was it. It was like a janitor or like the he's like the lowest in the CSI department.
Yeah.
I thought I liked Flash's character. He was fun. He was funny.
Yeah.
He had some good moments. I like the scene where he caressed Iris. And then he grabbed the meat stick for the dog.
Yeah, because that's the exception because like he can't actually carry people, so he just positioned her so that she would conveniently like be caught,
Well, if you see what he did, he not only did he motion, he like brought her to his chest and then moved her away, so he absorbed the impact so that she was flat on the ground and then laid her out.
Exactly. I mean, dude, like, oh, like I mean, like, as well as like I love his banter with like Aquaman and like Cyborg, and I think it's like a lot of those jokes that are in the Whedon version, but like because there's a lot more like room to breathe, a lot more like timing, they land a lot better than they do. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I like his style with Cyborg a lot. I think it's really fun. I mean, as well as like in the fight with Superman, which I think was a lot better, like with his like kind of scene in the fight with Superman. And then in the Whedon version, where like he is about to like tackle Superman, but then he gets like Superman just weaves and he just runs into Aquaman, and it's like, and Aquaman just looks at him like, dude, I fucking hate you right now. And I love that, It was good stuff. And also, I mean, to let the elephant out of the room, he did save everyone at the end.
Yeah.
Like,
he did put everybody in the situation in the first place, so like one for one.
Yeah, like him fucking up and like the mother boxes just like blowing up was fucking awesome. And like, done like, like it was so cool. It was, and the way they did like time reversion, right? Reversing time in this was a lot more interesting. Like, cause like it was like instead of like, making a portal and then running and then to the exact moment, like time really rewound around him with the Speed Force.
And like as he started running more and more, and then got to where it would be like, okay. I was like, because that's when I was like, wait, he's like, oh no, we're too late, and then boom, bah, explodes. I generally was thinking to myself, how are they gonna get out of this one? Because the movie can't end here.
Yeah,
and then I completely forgot the fact like that he could time travel. I was like, oh, okay, and then I was like, okay, Barry, let's go. You're getting a whole moment here.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I like the fact that like again we didn't see like him trying to rescue people. It was just like him like creating the momentum that would need to break the unity, like by going around the town. I thought was awesome. Like that was cool. And yeah, I really, I mean, granted, I mean, I don't like Ezra Chokovich Miller, but like I literally. I really did enjoy his Flash, even though I didn't want to enjoy it because of like
we're separating the artist from the art.
Yeah. So yeah, but I mean, yeah, but like again, I mean, even though
we're not gonna like not acknowledge that, but I get what you mean.
Yeah, like, exactly.
I think it's more interesting to examine the art through the artist. Now, I don't know. I never know I don't know who actors or producers or most of these names are, so I don't know what he did outside of the story, except for apparently choke somebody. But
but like
his character was enjoyable. Like you can say a person played a good role, and they're a shit person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, dead ass. I can think of.
I will say this though, like this version, like this more like this Whedon version was them trying to be more like a Wally West. This is actually more like a Barry Allen to me now. Because it's not just him being a fucking joke machine, doing like the editing and like the crazy, like just the dumb jokes he was making. This is more like, it's more of him being like Barry Allen. This is Barry Allen. I mean, granted, again, people always compare him with Grant Gustin. I think I do love Grant Gustin as the Flash. I think he's great. I love for his performance as the Flash, but like I do like this one a little bit more, just because it's a good. It's a different interpretation, but it's still a good one nonetheless of the Flash, and I like it a lot.
Okay.
Is Grant Gustin the actor from the CW?
Yeah, they're from a TV show. Yeah, still a great Flash, but like I like this one a lot too. I mean, for a cinematic Flash, this is a good Flash. For cinematic Barry Allen, this is a good Barry Allen.
I feel you. It's
what
like
are your
it's a
thoughts on-
comparison between Adam West and Christian Bale Batman. It's like, which one?
Yeah.
They're both good, but kind of like one a little bit more.
Because it's funny because people were shitting on him after the Josstice League came out. They were like, no, we need to get this man replaced with Grant Gustin to be the fucking Flash. But like now that we actually see his actual performance, I'm like, no, he's a pretty good Flash.
He's just the guy for Grant.
Yeah. This is the like Ezra Miller that like we fell in love with like Perks of Being a Wallflower and all that stuff. And then he choked the bitch out, which is not okay. But like, but yeah, Flash. I mean, the costume is still like it's still a little too Power Ranger armory for me. But I get the reason, like the practicality of the suit, because like it's made from like reinforced stuff from like rocket ships to like take in the heat that he's giving off, which makes sense.
Remember, they make those in-universe justifications to justify out-of-universe things. I don't like Flash's outfit. It's not fun. Flash's outfits are always fun. He could have put in a ring and speed out of it. I like rubber suit Flash.
So you would want a
traditional.
Yeah, traditional. I mean, granted, like you could have definitely pulled it off cinematically. It's possible, but like,
Hey Barry, it's me, Bruce Wayne. I made you a suit that's a lot more better to put on. It's gonna look a lot better too. Here's the ring that holds it. Don't ask questions. It's gonna work for you, dude. It's okay. You're
original. Like, I don't know if you could see. Like, I'm gonna pull up this image. Because I remember there's a specific concept art that was shown. During Batman vs Superman at that time of like their idea for like the original Flash outfit. And I mean, I would have preferred this one a lot more than what's it called? Than what we got. But let me pull it up real quick. I think it's pretty cool. For what it is. It's more what. Yeah, it's.
Let me pitch this idea for a suit.
Like this suit right here. This was like the original concept for the Flash suit. Originally for.
What is wrong with his face?
Yeah, the composition is not. The face is not good. But like the actual outfit. Yeah, but the actual outfit for what it was, it's like a more like traditional like slim line, but like with like a little bit like a Kevlar type look to it, because he could, but because he can get shot and hurt. So, but yeah.
I could see Bruce and Alfred working with Cal to repurpose a Kryptonian suit for him. To being like, here's that like simple thin material, but that can take the power that he runs through. I could see something like that.
Is he still getting a movie?
Yep.
So far I've heard yes.
It's even funnier. It's funny because like the Flash movie is still happening in this new DCU continuity or whatever.
It's confusing. All I know is that the Suicide Squad movie better be good.
Yeah, this was the concept art for the Flashpoint with Michael Keaton's Batman, and the suits definitely changed. So, but yeah, Flash in this movie, I enjoyed. I really enjoyed the Flash in this.
It's gonna be because in this one he's way more of a world breaker than he has appeared in other live action shows. So I'm interested to see how they make a conflict around that, because it's going to be a lot harder to have a villain actually threaten him with the way he's presented his power. Like a Captain Cold in this version wouldn't be able to stop him from entering his speed dimension. So they have to see what are they doing another speedster? Is it going to be Reverse Flash? Is it going to be Eobard Dwayne, Reverse Flash, Dr. Zoom, all that.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of them usually get that like antithesis kind of character. Superman gets Zod, Wonder Woman gets Ares, so he'd probably get Reverse Flash just so he can be like, yeah, this guy's the same like him, but evil. Okay, let's fight.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, like I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how they're gonna do Flashpoint, but like this is kind of like that's gonna be like more in the DCU canon, I guess, because like the still Snyderverse thing is a separate thing, I guess it's gonna be now. But for what it's worth, I did enjoy the Flash. I mean, we did see him in Suicide Squad, right? He showed up in Suicide Squad at one point.
Yeah, he captured Captain Boomerang.
That was cool. I like that. But yeah. But overall, Flash, same. I guess like if to go off what how Freddy was rating, I would say it's like a 9 for me. I really enjoyed Flash a lot. A 9 or an 8 for Flash. Like I fucked with it heavy. Like just the way they did the CGI and stuff. The original plan for the CGI effects for the Flash are fucking incredible. Like it's just that rubble scene is insane. Like, but it just like because he's blinking around, catching all the rubble and bouncing off walls, and like, you see the silhouettes, like a black silhouette, just lightning everywhere, and I loved it. Like it was. And fun. I'll say my closing point. My fun fact again. We didn't. That was already the CGI effects for that shot were already finished when Whedon came on. Right, it was just finished. Whedon took it out because he thought that that rubble scene people just wouldn't understand it.
What's there not to get?
It seems like he did have very high opinion on his audience's capabilities.
Yeah,
exactly.
Which is like
it's kind of insulting. But yeah, like it's kind of fucked up because the CGI was just finished for this scene, and he just scrapped it immediately because like, oh, they're not gonna understand how this works.
He's fast. Yeah. What is there not to get? Like
we can assume he's bouncing off walls and catching this shit.
We've seen Quicksilver. We've seen him in the other version of Quicksilver. We've seen Dash from The Incredibles. We know what fast means here, okay? We understand it. We're not idiots.
But yeah. So any closing thoughts on the Flash before we move on to the next character?
You're cool, man.
All right, cool. So and then another good character that was great in this Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman, though, bro. When she was going crazy in the beginning, I was like, I'm so happy that it's not super slow mo. That they showed slow mo, but then they also showed you like she can really stop bullets. Not like some like simple and every single bullet stop. It's I'm there. I was like, okay, you're okay.
I mean, I'll say this is the Wonder Woman I missed because again, 84 trying to like do the homage of Linda Carter. I mean, it was a nice experiment, but I missed Warrior Wonder Woman so much.
I didn't see it because I heard it was poo poo.
I mean, I'd say check it out just if you're curious. But I mean,
it was all right.
It was all right. It was average. But like I missed like what we got from the first Wonder Woman film. I love like Warrior Wonder Woman a lot. I mean, we got her fight scene in these movies because again more runtime are badass as fuck. I loved it, especially the beginning scene again with what Chris said. Like is a lot longer than we got in the Whedon version, and the whole like that shit and her just like sweeping the leg and just like throwing motherfuckers. It's just it's awesome. And
it shows you that she's a warrior and like in a way that's not super simple or something. It's like she's doing her job. She's getting to work. She's getting down.
Exactly.
Stop. Okay, Diana. All right.
One thing I will say that I thought was different when they were the idea of bringing back Superman, right? Which I thought was interesting the way they did in this one. She in the Whedon cut, she did not want it to happen. She's like, you know what? No. We can't bring no, your man cannot come back. We're gonna create a fucking monster. But in this one, she was a lot more open to it, a lot more willing to go for it in this one.
Yeah.
Where that was interesting. But yeah, Wonder Woman was I mean, it's the Wonder Woman I love. I love Gal's Wonder Woman. She's as the warrior, badass Wonder Woman a lot. I mean, it was good stuff. Freddie, I don't know what you want to say about Wonder Woman in this movie.
Pretty much the same. I liked her interactions with the Amazons. I liked that. It felt like she was doing something. Batman v Superman didn't feel like she did much, but she had like motivation. She had strong character. But yeah, I don't really know if there's really much to say about her because even I feel like she was of the 6 out of focus the most of any of the characters because she went to work. She saved. Besides the beginning scene, in the middle half of the movie, she wasn't really doing much. She was hanging with Alfred. She talked to Cyborg, and then she doesn't really show up again until they're fighting.
Yeah.
But her fight scenes were good. I always like the fight scenes. As always, I don't really like Gal Gadot, but
I like that scene with Alfred though. That was cute. I like Alfred in this movie. Alfred is just like he's just nice.
He's almost a fish out of water.
Yeah.
Everybody else. That was really nice.
It just felt like at times they didn't know what to do with her. Like similarly at the end when Superman shows up and is fighting I forgot his name, Steppenwolf. Like she's just sitting on the sidelines, not doing it. She was underneath rubble with Aquaman, which normally wouldn't have been an issue for her. Yeah. And then she does the final head cut off. It just feels like once all the big, because Wonder Woman's kind of the jack of all trades that they produce her in the movie. She's strong, but not the strongest. She's a good fighter. She's not really good in the water. So there was times where like every other character was up to something and she was just there, which is very upsetting because it's Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Like, she can be stealing the show. She's a better fighter than Superman. She's almost as strong as him, almost as fast as the Flash. And there were moments where she could have been doing more, but she just wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She was just there with Batman.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the thing is, like, again, like, with, again, to compare, like, the Snyder Cut, like, the Snyder Cut, remember that one scene, like, Chris can, like, elaborate on the fact that, like, Bruce Wayne was just shitting on this woman for no reason, like, talking about, like, yo, fuck you and your dead boyfriend, like, a lot, and I was like, oh my god, like, they, like, Whedon stepped on this woman so much in this movie, and I was like, oh my fucking god, this is awful, but, like, again, they showcase, like, her like her fierceness, her compassion as well.
Yeah.
I love the scene with the little girl. The little girl is like, "Oh, like, why are you are you okay, princess?" I love that dialogue. Like the stuff with Alfred that she's doing. Like even the stuff where like she was like figuring out like with the arrow, more backstory like on like the signal fire arrow that they used. How it was a key to then like uncover like to like showcase like the history of like the battle between like the Amazons and Darkseid and all that other cool stuff. I thought it was cool. I mean, I enjoy it. I always love Gal Gadot. Like, I mean, granted, Freddie has other opinions that we've talked about before in our Wonder Woman 84 review. But like, I understand why he doesn't like Gal Gadot. But I really enjoy her as Wonder Woman, and yeah, it was good stuff for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, any other thoughts on Wonder Woman?
That's a good question.
It's good stuff. I keep trying to put images up, but like, yeah, I enjoyed it. I just didn't like how like Zack appreciated like didn't like appreciated the character a lot more than what Whedon did, of course, because Whedon's a sexist piece of shit. But I mean, it's I enjoyed it. I really did. Even though I did miss the scene with again we're talking about with Aquaman where he steps on the lasso and he starts talking all this stuff. I like that scene a lot in the Whedon cut. And that was pretty funny. But yeah, it's good stuff. I like Wonder Woman a lot.
Dude, Freddie's got me thinking because come to think of it, if anything, Wonder Woman served that purpose of being one of the big three, but also was there to answer those questions that like, who the hell's Darkseid? What are mother boxes? Like she's there to inform the characters of the plot, basically, and then occasionally jump in and do something. It's like she's there because we know she's set and she needs to be there, and then she has some moments with some people here, like the internet, like really the Cyborg part with her, and that was about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I could think of, really. But yeah, she had the Vision treatment from Civil War where we don't know what to really do, but she's here and she's tough.
Yeah, and she's tough. Yeah, I mean, also I did like the stuff with her and Cyborg, the fact like she was telling like Cyborg, like, yo, you have these gifts, man. You gotta embrace them. You gotta use them. Yeah.
Do you feel like she should have been the one to talk to Cyborg, or do you feel like a different character could have been used to talk to Cyborg?
I mean, the Flash, no. I feel like she was the perfect. I mean, because like, listen, it just that she was meant to talk to him, like plot wise because she's the compassionate one. Bruce Wayne really isn't. You know,
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne is dark and is just like a dark loner boy. She can touch the hearts of people, which is why she had to, in my opinion, was the best choice to talk to Cyborg. Tap into his humanity.
Yeah, I can't think of any other character in the movie that would have done a better job, unless I don't know, Martian Manhunter decides to pay him a visit too.
Martian Manhunter was the secret spy, just like bringing everybody together. Okay, I see. That's why you're in this movie.
Word. Any other thoughts on Wonder Woman? She's great. I like her. She's great. All right. Well, okay. I guess we'll move on then, because no one has anything else to say. So below Wonder Woman, I will also say that Batman, Bruce Wayne, mostly Bruce Wayne, but like Batman, it was also pretty good in this movie. I really do like Ben Affleck as Batman. Like aesthetically, I love him in the suit. See, look, he's very, very accurate to what he should look like in the comics. But again, like his Bruce Wayne, I think he's my favorite Bruce Wayne. I like it a lot. He just has that like I know Bale. I mean, I love Bale's Bruce Wayne as well, but like there's something about Affleck's where just he has that rich boy charm. I love that rich boy charm. Yeah, like the whole like that the I'm rich line sells a lot more in this one than it does in the Whedon one. Than because it never be like think about it how this movie ended where like they also were setting up like Lex Luthor. It's gonna be a battle between like two wealthy fucking people that use money as their superpower when it comes to like Lex Luthor and Batman, But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I mean, like again, he was a lot less like forward on bringing Superman back. He was a little bit apprehensive, but like a little more towards it because like Zack Snyder focused a lot more on his guilt for actually like being a dick and ending up like Superman dying because of it. Which I mean was great. I mean, I love his banter. I love his dynamic with like I love his talks with Alfred, and I love his Alfred conversations in this movie a lot more than the last one. Again, like his stuff with like Wonder Woman. I don't know. What are your thoughts on like the because Hannah hated this when I said this, but I don't mind the whole Wonder Woman Batman relationship. To be honest with you, I don't care. I mean, I don't think it's that bad.
I've seen it done better.
Yeah, because I like it. I liked it in Justice League like Unlimited a lot because the way they did it in that. I mean, granted, I would rather have liked Batman and Wonder Woman together than Superman and Wonder Woman together because I hate that so much.
I don't like how so much of Wonder Woman in movies has to revolve around men.
Yeah.
Every single movie that she's in, all four, has to revolve around her relationship with a man. And that gets tiresome. So I would actually have preferred if they didn't do the romantic stuff with her and Bruce because it's just like she's a full independent character, but when you keep sidelining her or like using her to explore the depths of men, it's just annoying because she's Wonder Woman.
I agree.
And it's interesting. It's wild because like I thought it was like someone brought this up in a review that I thought was like DC's never touched on this like at all. The fact that like she's from Themyscira, like she should be a biracial character.
Yeah,
right?
She should be.
Like it's like because it's just women on that island, and like I would assume that there'd be women having relationships with other.
Oh, you mean bisexual?
Yeah. So
you said biracial.
I said biracial. My fault. Bisexual. My fault.
In canon, Wonder Woman, like so many other prominent female comic book characters, is bisexual, but they never really explore it in a romantic way. It's more of a framing device to appeal to the male gaze. It's very annoying how, like, I talk about this in Gotham, how every single woman in Gotham is a bisexual woman, but we don't see anybody in women-loving women relationships. We don't see it outside of a framing where it's for the male gaze. It's like, it's very... Like, how do I put this? It's very fetishized. It's very fetishy. Like, anytime they want to explore, we don't see them making genuine emotional connections with women. We see Wonder Woman, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and Harley flirting on screen with women for male gratification. It's very annoying. I can go into a whole rant about how comic books in general do LGBT representation. But, yes.
But
Batman.
for what it's worth,
Batman.
I did like I really did like Batman in this movie. Again, I like Ben Affleck as Batman, but I love his Bruce Wayne a lot more. But aesthetically though, like he is Batman to me. Like I love the way he looks in the suit, as well as like the way Zack Snyder does like the whole like shadow aesthetic, him in like the darkness and like his suit really it's so cool. Yeah.
My one issue with Batman in this movie is once again going back to thematic elements. He's the one who's always talking about how we're stronger together. We need to be a team. Yet every time the Justice League seems to be doing something, he's going off on his own and doing his own thing and not really working with the other Justice League members. It just seems very
hypocritical.
It doesn't seem like it hammers home the fact that why are you saying you're stronger together and then you're off shooting parademons by yourself? You're in your Nightcrawler fighting what's-his-face by yourself. You're doing all this stuff without the team. It just seems very discontinuous. That's probably not a word, though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see that. I mean, it's just, I'm sorry, I keep losing my train of thought, but like, I understand what you said. Yeah, I get it. I see it. But yeah, I mean, Batman. I also like the gadgets, like the tank at the end that we didn't really see much of. I thought which would be used in the final battle. There's that as well as it was good stuff. I enjoyed the stuff with Batman.
Also, I don't know
sorry.
It's all good.
Implied that he killed Harley.
Oh wait, what? The Joker killed Harley?
No, they implied that Batman killed Harley. In the epilogue, they were like, "I'll tell you this: when Harley Quinn died in my arms."
In the nightmare sequence?
Yeah, in the dream sequence.
Oh shit!
I don't think I didn't interpret it that way. I thought like he just.
I need to rewatch that again.
He just got killed.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, because Joker was talking about how he killed Jason Todd, and Batman was like, "Well, when Harley died in my arms," they're like, "Did they just imply that Batman goes and kills Harley in the future?" Because Batman never does. Batman always holds out the secret hope that Harley can be cured. That's like a whole thing in their dynamic. He's with her, and I was like, "Did they just imply that Batman's going to kill Harley Quinn? Because that's not going to happen."
I didn't get it off that, but I gotta watch it again just to make sure.
I'm a Harley stan, so when he mentioned Harley, my ears perked up, and I was like, "Wait, what?"
I will say this real quick, just because again, to connect with Batman vs Superman. Batman was very dark. He was literally like not giving a fuck about human life that much, in that movie. And I like the fact that like Superman's death again going on with, seeing it in the beginning as well as like throughout Justice League, the Zack Snyder Justice League. The fact that like Superman. His death, as well as like trying to bring him back and like the dynamic within the league, took him more to like a more lighter direction than than what we saw in originally. Which I think is like, yeah, I know people don't like him killing people, but like that arc that Zack Snyder set up with these two films, I enjoy. It makes sense, with that. Because like I mean, I don't think it's really clear like why he started getting all darker. Probably because like the death of like the Robin. That happened, but like yeah, like the fact that guys, he's going to be the Batman that you'll know and love in the later films. Relax, which I mean, yeah.
It's because he was based off of the Batman. He was like the Batman Returns Batman.
Yeah, the Dark Knight Returns. Yeah. Which yeah, yeah, exactly. Which yeah, I mean, it makes sense. He loves Frank Miller and like loves adapting his work, so like it makes sense. But yeah, like I love that character arc. This now being like, especially with the 4 hours, this big character arc potentially with like him being the dark, broody, like gritty, like I don't give a fuck Batman to like now the Batman we know and love after the inspiration of Superman. Like I get that. I enjoy it. It makes sense. Should have not killed to begin with. Of course not. But I mean, it's granted. But even though I don't really mind when superheroes kill people, but it's fine. That's a me thing. But but yeah, I enjoyed this Batman a lot. I enjoyed the arc finally like wrapping with his character from BVS and stuff like that. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
The thing with him killing people is it doesn't make sense. Like they need to answer the question of why is Joker, if he's killing people, he's killing mooks left and right. How is Joker still alive? Like he knew where he was in Suicide Squad, just hanging out. Like it makes other movies seem less real when Batman.
Yeah.
His motivations are inconsistent. Like, okay, it's because you're the Joker, you're special. I won't kill you, but everybody else, I'm gonna kill. Why is he special?
He wants to kill him because he said he's going to kill him in the dream sequence in the epilogue. So like, what's been stopping him?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
because you're an important character to my rogues gallery. I can't kill you yet. You fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thing is, like, I would have if I was hoping Zack Snyder would elaborate like why he started killing in the being more careless in the first place. But because we could only assume it was from the dead Robin. He didn't actually state it was because of that, right?
No.
Yeah, but I mean, granted, if we got that like the reason, then this entire arc would have been a lot more digestible for everyone, you know, in my opinion. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. So does anyone have any other final thoughts on Ben Affleck's Batman? Before we move on.
Nah.
Yeah. It's Batman I like. It's Bruce Wayne I love.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So again, so the next character is Aquaman. I like Aquaman. You can kind of tell the contrast between Whedon's and this one because Aquaman and Whedon's a lot more wild and just like rambunctious and just like just like friggin' Trident and shit. But like in this, but in this one he's a lot. There is aspects of that in this, but he's a lot more brooding in this one. Like he's and this, which I liked a lot more. But again, as I said earlier, I liked what James Wan did with the film, what he did with the characters, what he did with the world and the aesthetics and stuff like that. But just like, I wish there was some of that in this, but I know chronologically it doesn't make any sense because that movie wasn't even filmed yet. So at that time, but I did enjoy Aquaman. I enjoyed I enjoyed what we got with Aquaman a lot more.
I actually feel like this movie was from the beginning Aquaman to end Aquaman, I think actually translates nicely into the Aquaman movie. Because you can see, like, he was more serious when he first when he was first fighting people with Steppenwolf and all of them. But, like, when he starts fighting the parody and stuff, it seems like he's actually having fun. So I can see how he can become the Aquaman we see in the next movie. Okay,
I was just about to ask you that to see, like, how you feel like it translates to his movie. Because the Whedon version of it was very, like Mikey said, it was wild and rambunctious. And then it felt like he kind of just was like, oh, I'm going to relax a little bit in his movie. He was like, all right, I'm not going to be as wild or crazy. But, yeah, I would. But that's Aquaman, dude. I can't think of anything at the moment.
I don't think there's much to say about Aquaman. He was there. He was cool. He didn't really have a character arc, but they laid the groundwork that I think the Aquaman movie was able to expand on. Like, they did a lot of expositional stuff with him, too. The whole Queen married your dad, left him. You're the rightful king. Orm is being a dick. Tula, not Tula. Let's see. Mara is here. Bloodbending people.
Yeah, even though, like, again, it was talking about with Mara real quick. Like, it was kind of weird the whole, like, now with the whole Amber Heard situation. Like, I did like Mara in this movie, but, like, I mean, it's
And although it did cause because it felt like, to me anyway, in Aquaman, that he didn't know who she was when she saved him.
Yeah.
Before they had met. So that might have just been some story inconsistencies.
They're prevalent, but it's okay. You kind of have to look just past it, unfortunately.
I think it was enjoyable. I liked that he didn't have a shirt on for most of the movie. What we want from Jason Momoa.
He took his shirt off like 50 times. I was like, Jesus, dude. He did it when he was first talking to Bruce. Didn't he do it at the pier?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did it again. I was like, dude, you're doing it's like the Taylor Lautner treatment during Twilight. I was like, just either leave it on or fucking don't.
And in Aquaman, he had his shirt on the whole time, which was very disappointing. It was like, at least have someone blast it off of him. Like, God.
Yeah, like, I mean, also, I would say just some more elaborate. I like the way the Atlanteans look again. I'll say that I love the way they look, even though I do like a lot more in James Wan's movie as well. Volko, I just don't like the long, raggedy hair and just it's just so weird.
He looks like a merchant.
He does. But I do like the fact that like Vocal is the reason why he has the trident in the first place, because like he just gave it to him, like, reclaim, like, like this is what your mother would do, reclaim like your birthright, like, because in the Whedon one he just has it. They don't go into that backstory. But yeah, actually it's from what I'm gonna like watch Aquaman again, just because to see like I think you're right for like it sets up the groundwork for what Aquaman's going to be later on. Even though the aesthetic is a lot different than it is in this one, but it's still fine, And also it's kind of interesting the fact that Mira has an accent in this one.
Yeah.
She has an accent in this one. In the Whedon version, you can't really tell if she does. I think it's probably like the ADR. And even in the Wan version, she doesn't have an accent at all. So that was interesting.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, just he's a lot of fun. I like Jason Momoa a lot. I love. I like that he didn't trust Cyborg because But in the Whedon version, it's a lot more like, yo, fuck you, we shouldn't trust you, blah blah. Like in this one, it's a lot more questionable and subtle.
He was very direct and like, are you working with them? And the other one, it felt more like a throwaway line. When he was sitting on the lasso, he was like, I don't even know if this guy's on our team. He could be working for them for all we know. I don't know. Like, okay.
I do wish that we did. I do like that scene in that movie though. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Come on, I'm young. The shit I want to do. Like I like that. But I mean, for what I do like this one Aquaman this movie. It wasn't really much, but like it was Jason Momoa did his job. It was a lot of fun, and I love that.
Okay.
So yeah.
I agree.
So any other thoughts on Aquaman in this movie? No, I wish we got the riff. I love the riff in the fucking Aquaman movie. Like I like that shit. I think it's funny.
One last thing I'll say about Aquaman: that scene where he was walking off the pier to the waves was too long and too dumb. We did not need to see him from 4 different angles walking off the same pier.
Oh my god! I fucking wish I recorded because I had like 2 drinks in me, right? And I'm seeing this. I'm thinking of this in Zack Snyder's perspective, and I'm just like, yeah, he's the Aquaman. Like, if you didn't know this, look at all the water. Like, oh god.
I was like, this isn't adding anything. It was like every time he left somewhere, there was an unnecessary scene.
Word.
Landing people playing. We didn't need to see him get slowly engulfed by a wave 4 times.
Look at me, I'm Aquaman.
You know what's funny though? Because like in the Whedon cut, that scene is in there, and it's a really butchered version, but like I like that one a lot more because it's quick. It's him like taking off his shirt, drinking the beer, drinking the tequila, the whiskey, throwing in the ocean, jumping in. It has like cool music too. I like with it. I'm like, yeah, it's fucking rad. And this one was just like it's very like it's just him trying to like be serious. But this isn't a serious moment, like
Also, let's talk about how he stole. Like, you can't make someone pay for your whiskey.
I mean, it's fine.
They're like, this guy brings us fish. It's fine. Just put it in his tab.
But yeah, I mean, also since wait, Chris, just elaborate. I didn't really ask. Did you watch Aquaman, right? The movie.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So like, what are your thoughts on like the fact that, like they have to make an air bubble in order to speak? Like they can't actually speak underwater because like
That seems like forced because like it's weird because like I've noticed this while watching the Snyder Cut is that whenever they talked, they had the same like. Do you guys know what blocking is?
A little bit from class.
Yeah, so it's like every single time there'd be an air bubble. I'm like, okay, so they're gonna have some sort of conversation, and every single time it's the same thing where it's. Aquaman, we need you. You need to be the king because it's your birthright. And then he's like, no, I don't want to do it. And he walks away. But we know she's going to say something. He's going to turn around and they're going to talk about plot B. And then it's just, all right. And then he just jumps into the water. It's like, it's kind of repeated. Whereas if we talked water speak or whatever, it'd be more like dynamic to be like, we're talking in the water. Not let's create a set where we can talk and have our monologues. All right, it's like you love it or you hate it, really.
It's fun.
Yeah. I mean, I prefer them like in the movie, like talking like in Aquaman, like talking.
Yeah,
it worked. It worked.
It works just fine. It's just like we're all talking.
again, it's just like Zack Snyder's thought, man, with like the Flash, like it doesn't make sense to put a talking in water, but like do you think like
But
the
it doesn't make
practicality of
sense
it?
for people to talk in water, but fish people would have evolved to communicate in water.
Yeah. Maybe if it was like, oh, Mara, are you okay? Yeah, I just need an air bubble because enter reason here or something. It's like I just prefer it, something like that. It's water
Why
speaking.
would fish people who hate the surface world need air to talk?
It gets wonky. I would say it gets wonky.
But yeah, it's final thought. Aquaman was nice. I mean, I love it when he just falls through the. It's in the regular cut too. I love when he just like he free surfs the parademon through the fucking building and just flips his mane when he's done. I love that shit. It's so cool.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. So, any other thoughts on Aquaman before we move on to the last character?
Oh, good.
All right. So, last characters, of course, is Superman.
Superman.
I thought it was. I mean, he served his purpose.
I would say that that's the thing, because I started thinking about it too. Freddie, you're right that the second he shows up, obviously it's like, why do we need the team to begin with, right? Then now I'm thinking like, okay, so if Superman was integral to the separation of the mother boxes, then like maybe you could work that in somehow. But they were bringing back because we can't take him by ourselves. We need Superman. Mm-hmm. It's like, so then what the fuck is the point of the team? Like, it helps establish what the hell is the point of the team if you're so desperate that you need Superman or something. Instead, hey, why don't we? I mean, you guys have a time limit, so it's fair. But like, why don't we learn about each other's things and quirks or whatever, and we make something happen here? Mm-hmm. Like, and then like by some reasoning, then they could bring Superman back. But even still, he's a living MacGuffin. He's a living fucking MacGuffin, dude.
I just liked every scene Superman was in. And the thing is, other things, animated movies have learned how to deal with Superman. Yeah. And how you deal with him is having more than one villain. There needs to be, or have the villain strong. Because like Wonder Woman, it took Wonder Woman and Aquaman together to handle Steppenwolf. But when Superman got there, he didn't need them anymore. Yeah. So like the whole stronger together is out the window. You got to do something. Like, you have to either depower him, have him use some red sun technology, some kryptonite, or like it just. I didn't like any scene he was in. Hated the stuff with him in the farm. I will admit, when him and Lois were on the farm, that's when I sent all my tweets I made about the Wonder Woman, about the Justice League movie.
Yeah.
His fight with the Justice League seemed a little forced, honestly. The whole, I can't control my auto defense system.
Mm-hmm. So let's have an action scene right now or something.
And then I hated Lois in this movie.
You're gonna hate, dude. It's this one and in Batman or Superman where it fills in that what you said, where it's just like she's not really a character; she's an accessory to Superman.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it maybe some credence could be given because of the whole spear thing, but it's not to open up that can of worms. But she throws away the kryptonite spear so that way she knows where it is, so she could be the one to be like, oh, it's over here, by the way, to kill. It's like if you would have just left it alone, you wouldn't have been needed. So it's like you're just thrown in here. It's very. Why do you keep giving us Lois and not have her do anything? What the fuck?
Exactly.
Like I mean Lois's character in other media, but she just has not been well utilized by Zack Snyder. And actually, I'm going to expand that. My problem with Superman is that Zack clearly does not know who Superman is.
Yeah.
And can't write him.
Give him All-Star Superman. Give him that comic book real quick.
And his orbit, all of the Superman characters feel so wrongfully out of place, willfully out of place. His parents are wrong. Lois is wrong. Jimmy Olsen died off screen.
Just get shot Lois, I'm here for you.
You actually see it in the extended version of BBS too. You actually see him get killed. It's like, what the
Okay. Sure. I didn't watch the extended version. I watched
It's fine.
You're fine. You're not missing.
It's fine.
But yeah, he literally gets shot. But then when it's about Lois being about to be shot, then he shows up. It's like he doesn't care about you. Don't be friends with Superman unless you're a superhero. Don't be friends with him.
Just forget my thoughts with Superman real quick. Superman's not my favorite superhero, but I understand the importance of like the character and like what and like why people love him so much. I love that like he's a god but chooses to be a man. That's important. I love that. You know, I love the universe of Superman as well. Like I love like Bizarro, John Kent, like Connor Kent, like all that stuff, like Krypton, all that stuff is cool. But like, but thing is like I understand that like a lot of people when it comes to the exact interpretation of Superman, like I get it. I don't mind it because I don't really have that much of a connection to Clark Kent or like Superman that much, you know. But I see. But the thing is, like, I if you want to put like Henry Cavill's performance aside, I think Henry Cavill could play a great Superman, but it's just the script from like how Zack sort of writes him. It's just not, you know.
We see him playing a better Superman in The Witcher because he's paternalistic. He's protecting. He has fun. He's the Boy Scout. That's what Superman is, the Boy Scout. He's not Jesus. He's not. He's not.
Yeah, it's kind of wild because with Superman, he always like Zack Snyder loves the Christian metaphors. Even though I saw in an interview, like a recent interview, like the reason why he likes to do that is because like it's not just to invoke like have a Christianity fucking like PSA in his movies. It's to showcase that like mythological like feeling like of these characters because like so that no matter what religion that you follow, like that having that like that you can like have that mythological feel to it. But like what is the most like popular mythological type look Christianity. So that makes sense why I use it so much. But like I understand.
Mikey, my rebuttal would be that I would say that he's infatuated with the idea or what the symbol of Superman represents without giving his character credence. I would have liked it if the characters in the universe looked at him like that, but then we see him like, dude, I just like to like, I like corn. I'm from Kansas. I like, really like basic things. I like being nice to little kids. Like the whole thing about how the Joss Whedon version opens up with the Snapchat video of him. Yeah. Like I remember, I forget who it was that said it, but it was like, yeah, if he was like, I'm gonna get down on the ground so I can be eye level with you because I'm gonna talk to you like a person, like a firefighter would if he just rescued you or something. Like I was like, hey, what's going on? Yeah, this means Superman. Like, let me tell you about myself. I really like to help people. I'm a nice guy. If we saw him more like that, people are like, he's a god though. Like how Luther looked at him. Like, yeah, he's a god. He's evil. He's a devil. Or media frames him as that. And it's like, but then the contrast of, but I'm just a guy. We don't see a lot of contrast. It's Lois, I love you. I'm Superman.
Yeah.
And not only do not see contrast, when is a time in the Zack Snyderverse where Superman actually saves someone?
Yeah.
Like you don't see him do the daily thing of helping cats stuck in trees, helping a kid who was being chased by a bear, like he did in the Like Superman goes out and he's just a nice guy. But all of his scenes revolve around Lois, teenage angst.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness, his dad. What in no version would Superman's dad ever be like, yo, let me die to save other children? Why was Superman dropping a car of his neighborhood bully? It's just not Superman. If you want to do Jesus imagery with a DC comic book character, Ra's al Ghul is there.
That's true.
Write another movie. It's just not Superman.
Yeah. I think it's like I understand why, but like I just don't. I'm not a Superman person, so that's why I don't really care as much.
And that's the reason why, though, too. It's or like in general, you would say you're not a Superman person in general. Okay, that's understandable.
I fuck with Steel more than I fuck with Clark.
Got you.
In my opinion.
But like I know that he has his own twist on each of these characters, and that's well understood within the context of this film, or in the context of this universe, really. But it's really just like somebody that's saying that they're nice, that they want to be nice, but then they don't have the evidence to kind of prove it up, and everybody's just like, oh, he has the potential to do so so we'll just believe him because of that.
Yeah.
So okay,
and just to make the argument for myself, I've read like All-Star Superman was the story was okay. Now I understand like why everyone loves this character so much, and it's brilliant. Like with that, like the humanity side of Superman is important to the character, you know. So like even though I'm not a Superman person, I understand why why he is the way he is, why everyone loves him so much, and I like him a little bit. I like him for that sake, but like I'm just like, you know what, it's fine. But but I see why everyone doesn't like how Zack Superman is, and I'm fine with it. I understand it 100%. So
let's give him another.
I'll just saving myself for the slaughter, you know.
You're cool. You're cooling. He needs more work. They need to get an actual writer and be like, oh yeah, Superman, I like this character. Let me actually write something.
Didn't Chris Terrio like is the writer on this film? Like Zack Snyder always does stuff with Chris Terrio, so I think
they to sit down and watch Superman the animated series, read All-Star Superman. Heck, watch the Christmas episode of Justice League, and you get the entire Superman character.
Yeah, for sure. And again, I love Superman in that stuff. I'm just like, I'm not like a Superman fanboy, you know. I get
Superman. Like he's not the most interesting character to me. Like in the DC universe, he's probably my bottom. I just know what he's supposed to be like, and it's not this.
Yeah, for sure.
They did give him a little bit of character in the Whedon one, actually, too. Like they did. He races the Flash, just like, hey, I heard you're really fast. Like, and they're just like, first one to wins or whatever, and then they just like they start racing. And I was like, that's cool. I like that.
That's the kind of stuff. Like when my least favorite scene in any of the Zack Snyder movies was when there was a flood or something, and all of the people of color were just raising their hand towards Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
he wouldn't have stood that shit.
I didn't like that either.
He would have been like, "No, I'm a dude who wants to play baseball." Like, don't treat me like this. He wouldn't have stood. He would have been like, "What do you need?"
So I mean, I'm sorry. That's so funny. It was like,
how can I help you?
Exactly.
Stop praising me.
Exactly.
That's go like a tangent real quick. But like, what were your thoughts on like the black suit? Like I said, like what about on like the black suit and like how it was used? I mean, I remember like we just said like the fact that it wasn't a Kryptonian healing suit kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But like,
if you're gonna use it, that could have been a great quick reasoning for the people that like know Superman. Oh, he's not his full strength, so he's almost just like if he's like on par with like Wonder Woman or something. So she's like, okay, we got strength in numbers because now we got Superman here too. It's like, yeah.
And the thing is, like, I fuck with this suit a lot. Like, I think it looks great, but like, I always think of the black suit without the cape. I don't fuck with the cape at all.
And the mullet, get the mullet and the beard. It's like my hair keeps growing. Even though I died like last week.
and the fact that like he used it at the end when like he walks off, because that was same fit from the Whedon cut. The Whedon cut he wore the same the regular colored suit, but in this one he wears the black one, like which is gonna be like I guess forever now. I hope not, but
probably
like
not.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, Freddie, if you had any thoughts on like the costume and stuff like that.
I thought I kind of like the costume. I basically agree with the same thing that could have been used as a handicap to further point the stronger together thing.
Yeah.
One more thing, I really didn't like how the mother boxes feared Superman, which is why they turned on when he was not here. Because also, why didn't they turn on in any of the thousands of years before Superman got here?
Facts.
But yeah, I thought the suit was cool. I was looking for the mustache stuff because I heard so much about it, but it wasn't there.
Because that was Joss Whedon, as I said before. Joss Whedon was the one who was like, let's just reshoot the scenes, then CGI the mustache over top of it. Zack Snyder already shot all that stuff before that mustache thing even happened. Mm-hmm. So
I like Henry Cavill.
I do like Henry Cavill as Superman though. Like aesthetically, like he looks like Superman. Like he
just need to get the writing done. That's about it.
It's just the writing of the character just isn't there.
So much of crap. He can only do so much.
Exactly. Like look at him right. Look at this. Look at this photo. Like, he looks awesome. Like I like
Facts.
it. Facts.
Like, quick call back to The Witcher. He gives you a whole character by keeping the same tone and the same mood, but you get to know him as The Witcher. Like, come on, give him something better to work with here.
What were your thoughts on? Things like, you know what's funny? I think the funny thing I noticed was like when he's walking and things like I also like things like one thing I liked about Man of Steel because I liked the way they did like Jor-El. Like I like Russell Crowe as Jor-El a lot for some reason. And like the way they did Krypton, I thought was really cool. So like when he's walking through the Force of Solitude, so you know there was a Superman suit that was fully like normally colored, right? But he just chose the black one literally for no reason. Like they didn't even establish why. Like that the black one was so significant for him to actually pick it off instead of taking the regular suit. You know,
that was fan service. I feel like it's just fan service.
But again, so we'll just real quick talk about with Superman. What do y'all think of like not the epilogue, but like the injustice scene that Cyborg saw in the mother box? I kind of fucked with it.
I get depressed. Like this sounds weird to say. Like the sentence I'm about to say sounds weird, but I got depressed in a good way because during Days of Future Past, it hurt me every single time when I saw the X-Men die in different ways, and I was like, no, like I guess it shows to me that I care about these characters, and to see them fall or to see them corrupted really hurts, and I'm just sad. So to see him evil Superman,
over the broken hall of justice.
Yeah, dude, like it makes me sad, and I'm like I guess I could see myself watching this movie and then being like, all right, Injustice movie, let's go.
The thing is like I was watching when we were watching it. Hannah was like talking to me and just like when you saw that scene of like the what the mother box would tell like not the mother box but like what Cyborg saw if they failed.
Yeah,
like, I think it was which is like with the mother box destroying them. Hannah got super fucking stressed because Mikey, like, is this actually gonna happen? What the fuck is going on? Like, I need to. Like, she got super fucking stressed and just like it was because like Lily was just like, yo, like they could this like if this actually happens, I'm gonna fucking cry. Like I'm gonna actually cry if this fucking happens, you know?
Yeah, it's so sad. It's like, damn. Yeah. I really hate
you see Wonder Woman die, you see Arthur Curry die, like everyone's just fucking dead, and it's like holy fucking shit. Like it's just like, you know, like and also like I know like the nightmare sequences again with like that one in the epilogue are supposed to showcase like the whole Lois is the key thing because like that was one thing that bothered me with Josstice, like the fact that like we got the Flash in BVS go up to Batman from the future and say Lois Lane is the key, and then Joss Whedon never touched on it, and it bothered me for fucking years, right? But in this one, they kind of like, you know, they don't really do a great job of it, but like they kind of like they still, you know, reiterate like the whole Lois is the key thing. Still don't understand it, to be honest with you. I honestly don't understand it still.
Yeah, Batman still points it out like, yeah, there was a Barry Allen right here, and he told me that Lois is the key. It's like, okay.
I think they were planning on doing the Injustice thing, and I also don't like the whole evil Superman thing. I think it really speaks to somebody not knowing his character because I don't think he would he's not 1 day away. Like so many people like to say that Superman's 1 day away from being a devil, and he's not. He is several steps away from that.
Like, it also does bother me though the fact that like all it takes is just Lois just dying and Superman just turns. It
then it's like, all right.
When someone does that in anything, because happened in Injustice, it's happened in somebody else talked about it. I forget what it was. But anyway, he's not Lois's death. Lois is not his morality pet. She is not his chain that is keeping him from snapping. He is a person that he likes a lot, but he still values humanity above her. And there have been times where he has chosen other people over her. So, I don't like the whole Lois is the key thing. I don't like Lois is a full independent person apart from Superman, no matter how you try to frame her as not being that.
Yeah.
It's frustrating for me.
Do you feel like it's shoehorning in her character? Like
it is.
She's being fridged. Like she's not being murdered, but she's still being free. Because you can replace Lois is the key with this stuffed animal Superman had since he was a child is the key. He's just an object that is supposed to make us feel an emotional attachment to him. And if he loses it, he goes berserk. And I don't agree with that.
Word. I do agree with that, Freddie. You're right.
It's kind of weird when you think about it too, because it's like he doesn't know who he is or he doesn't have his memories then. but then I guess seeing Lois flushes them all back, right?
Yeah.
So like, could his mom not? At some point, could he not remember his mom or this stuffed animal or his ship? Literally right there, Star Labs, right across the street. It's a very kind of like, Lois, I love you because this is all my character has built right now.
When they were fighting him, I was like, Flash, will you just grab her so we can skip the next 15 minutes that I know is about to happen?
But Freddy, if he grabbed her, she would explode.
See, solution.
Taxi. I was like, as soon as Cyborg shot him, I was like, oh my god, will someone just bring Lois? Why didn't Batman call her an Uber? Why isn't she here when you're bringing her back?
So it's funny because that's what Batman did in the Whedon one too. Because he was like, Clark, hold on, and then she shows up in a car, and then she's like, Clark.
Like Alfred. He had Alfred like come and pick her up.
Yeah,
there needs to be a supercut. There needs to be a supercut now that combines both movies, the best of both.
Why would you bring Superman back without Lois present in this world? She's the only thing he cares about. I was like, just bring her. We don't need this. This doesn't need to happen. Long story short, I don't like Superman in this movie, but I also don't like Superman in Zack Snyder's hands.
Yeah,
got you.
I will say this again: Superman doesn't really bother me, but I understand why people don't like him a lot, and I get it. You know,
they can't connect with him. So that's really all you get.
Yeah, but So is that it for Superman? I had something I was gonna say, but I kind of lost it. But yeah. But okay, I remember the fact that like Superman was holding Lois's dead body. I was like, oh fuck, like I guess a little too much, Zack Snyder. You know.
Oh my lord.
But Lord. All right, so you want to move on a little bit?
Yeah.
We're talking enough about Superman. All right, so we'll just do real quick the cameos of this thing. So again, I love again Ryan Choi is the Atom. I even though he didn't do much, but I just like the fact that like Asian representation. I do like Ryan Choi as the Atom a lot in the comics. And I love him in Injustice. I think he's awesome in Injustice. But like Ryan Choi, awesome again. Kiersey Clemons playing Iris West was what I thought was nice. I like the fact that like they didn't know, this was the first time meeting each other. I like that a lot. The fact that they just didn't know each other like previously. Yeah, I thought that was cool. Because I thought in my mind, because like the Flash TV show, that like they already knew each other, but like no, I like this like his first time meeting Iris West, and I dig it. Would do you guys think like if they didn't, because we didn't say her, she didn't like introduce herself or anything, so like would we have known if it was Iris West, if without like with like a name drop or without a name drop, or what do you think?
They didn't.
They did not.
Oh, so this is kind of like speculation a little bit, or is it like?
She is Iris West, but like, do you think like would we have known if no one told us beforehand?
I mean, no one told me beforehand. I saw a woman look at the Flash, and I was like, that's Iris West.
Okay.
It's like you don't need to tell me who's cast to play Lois Lane in a Superman movie. I'ma figure it out.
Right. Yeah, right. It was just a thought that I had. I'm not like shitting on anybody.
Like. I didn't know Zenyatta was Zendaya was and Mary Jane when I went to Spider-Man, but I figured it out pretty quickly.
Sorry. Zenyatta.
Zenyatta. I'm gonna follow it now.
Right. Yeah, but I dug Iris West for what it was. I like the scene with Barry saving Iris, but obviously the main what?
No, I was gonna say then. So I can give you that perspective because I didn't know who Iris West was. I could say that how they framed everything and how they displayed like how much he kind of like, for one, the whole like, I'm going to look at you, I'm going to be doing my interview, but I'm still looking at you. Okay, so they like each other. This is someone he likes. Mm-hmm. And then saving her, I thought, okay, this is going to be a character that he's going to save because something's about to happen because they kept showing the dude eating a fucking burger. Bro, it's a burger, bro. Wait the stoplight and then get it. The fuck?
I will say this real quick that like it just got announced that like Kiersey Clemons is coming back to play Iris in Flashpoint, which no one thought would happen. So that's something I thought was cool.
Okay. No. That's I would say that I agree. Like I'm figuring it out that I have this person's face now established in my head that Barry likes her, and if I see her pop up again, I'll be like, oh, it's the one girl that he saved. oh, this is somebody who's a love interest. Oh, look at that. That's cool.
Yeah.
You figure it out.
I don't know. Besides obviously the big cameo, I don't know any other small cameos they made. If you guys know anything or not? Like,
I think I'm not sure if this is true. I think that the time terrorist, he was giving me Clock King vibes.
Was it a clock? Because like I didn't really know. I was like, is this guy significant? Like I'm just like, because they focus on him a little bit too much.
I don't know. I was like, there was a lot of clock imagery. He talked about sending things back to the primitive time. They never said a name. So I was like, is this Tempest? Like,
yeah, okay. I don't know. I mean, granted, also like they mentioned Orm, like Ocean Master in the movie as well. Like briefly,
there was a Green Lantern. I think we hit all of the major cameos.
Just obviously, just so like we've already talked about this before already, but like just to reiterate again, the fact that we like do see Martian Manhunter in this movie. I want to say my fun fact because Hannah, shout out to Hannah, she told me this morning, it blew my fucking mind. So we were talking, obviously we talked about like why like we feel like this like Martian Manhunter was basically shoehorned in this movie. You know, just for like fan service because he didn't really do anything, right? Like the role of him, like, you know, finding out about, you know, a war coming and him alerting Superman did not fit Martian Manhunter's character at all. Mm-hmm. So the fun fact is that she told me this morning was that, the original plan for Zack Snyder's vision was that it was supposed to be Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
But the fact that like DC did not want him to use the Green Lanterns at all. Again, studio interference. He's like, okay, what's the next best thing? Where like a space character who's also a black character, Martian Manhunter. That's why he's in the movie.
I was wondering because all of the advertisements were Unite the Seven. So I was like, who's the Seven? Because like when Jason Momoa got cast, he stood in a giant poster that said Unite the Seven.
And there's only like 6 of them.
Yeah, and I was like, who's the 7?
Somebody
so. Because I remember, like, also in the chat, like, not in the chat, but, like, in the movie night yesterday, like, people were going, like, why is he here? Even though, like, we did get it's Martian Manhunter. We love Martian Manhunter. But, like, why is he here? Because it was originally supposed to be Jon Stewart. It wasn't supposed to be Martian Manhunter. Like, because we know for a fact, if Martian Manhunter's been here all this time, he would have fought at some point, you know?
Yeah. But then, now they have to kind of figure out how to retroactively explain Martian Manhunter and what he was doing then, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big Martian Manhunter fan. I love Martian Manhunter. I'm happy I'm seeing him in live action, but like I do understand this isn't this role that he's doing with like alerting like at the epilogue as well as like talking to Lois is not really like his character. Yeah. Like it's just like what? But like granted now that I know that it's supposed to be Jon Stewart, like okay, this isn't Zack's fault. It isn't Zack's fault.
I love John. He is the only character who walks around in blackface that I'm comfortable with. But yeah, I talked about my opinion on his cameo earlier. I think they could have done it better. There was no reason for him to become green after leaving the apartment, besides to show the people who couldn't figure out that the shapeshifter was Martian Manhunter. He was Martian Manhunter. I would have preferred if they revealed that when he was talking to Batman.
Yeah, that would have been better. Yeah, just him going like in and out was kind of weird. But, I mean, what are your thoughts on Oh, sorry, Chris.
I was gonna say he just looks outside. There's an army general outside. He's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "Oh, Bruce Wayne. I heard Batman."
Yeah. And if you think about it real quick, like we didn't know that like General General Swanwick, who is the actual character that Martian Manhunter's guys was Martian Manhunter until like Zack Snyder just dropped it on social media. And they're like, he was supposed to be Martian Manhunter, guys. Yeah, which makes
that's why he has the subplot with Lois Lane in Barris about the bullet or whatever.
Yeah, but like I don't think that was his original plan first. Well, I think it worked out. That was his original plan, but like I think he was gonna do it maybe like Justice League Part 2 or Part 3. It was Martian Manhunter because this role is meant for Jon Stewart. But I mean, I'm also happy that we see what he looks like. And like, what's your thoughts on like the design of a Martian Manhunter in this movie? I don't mind it. It's nice. It's nice. I mean, the ridges kind of like weird me out a little bit, but like he's an alien, so like it shouldn't bother me. But like, I dig it for what it is. I think it looks really cool. Like I love even though the in and out thing was dumb, I like seeing like the full on Martian Manhunter like outfit and like the red eyes and like the fact that like the stripes aren't like cloth. It's like it just glows off of him, and I think it's really cool.
I like it. I don't like the red eyes because that implies they're doing the New 52 Martian Manhunter, and I don't like New 52 Martian Manhunter as much as I do pre-Flashpoint Martian. But I think the design's all right. He looks better in CGI than I expected it.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be trash at first. You know, but
I'm trying to like. I want to see it for a second. I want to see it in movement. I'm looking at the clip right now. Actually,
I
no.
want to put it up.
I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm not. I don't want to hog it. Let me share it to you guys too.
Yeah, share it real quick, and then
Share the screen, please.
Yeah. Yeah. Add. What's it called? Is it? Did you put it up?
I'm about to.
All right. Yeah, but well, I think it's I feel kind of weird because like, yeah, put it in full screen. Yeah, put it in full screen real quick. There we go. So like, yeah, if you wanna like play real quick, I mean, yeah, in motion, it looks better in motion.
Yeah, I was gonna say picture versus motion. It looks better because like his head was looking a little funky to me for a second.
Yeah.
He should have just said his name was Jean because it does not inspire hope in me.
Martian Manhunter.
I'm the Manhunter. Like, yeah,
I like the way he flies off too. It looks really cool. But I mean, also like, does it bother anyone a little bit that like, because the actor who plays him, I forget his name. I forget his name and the actor's name who plays General Song. But like, they clearly just used his face model for Martian Manhunter for this. They couldn't just do like an original like you know, like an alien face. But I thought about it more. It kind of reminds me of like when Martian Manhunter like first came out in the comics. He literally just looked like a green dude. Yeah. Like, you know, so like that's why like yeah. So like it bothered me, but it didn't. It bothered me, but it makes sense. You know.
Yeah. I agree though. He's like, "Who are you?" He'd be like, "You can call me John."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Call me Jean, and then it's like that's it.
I'm the Martian Manhunter.
I'd be like, the Martian what hunter? I'm supposed to trust you? Others have called you the Martian Manhunter. Why did they call you that? Were you hunting men?
Word. That also did bother me too. Like, if you just call yourself John Jones, like, come on now, bro. Yeah. Like, it's not. Don't use your app. No, that just sounded a little lame, you know. Yeah. But yeah, at the end of the day, like, I'm happy that we see him on screen. I know fucking Hannah freaked the fuck out because she's a huge Martian Manhunter fan. But like, again, the role wasn't like, it wasn't Zack's fault. It was just the studio, like, you know, they didn't want to let him use Jon Stewart. I wonder who would have cast as Jon Stewart. Actually, I'm curious.
Oh,
if he got the chance to like cast him, like who would he use?
I'm sorry, my mind was elsewhere. I feel like Idris Elba's too
Idris.
You can't say Idris Elba can play every black man.
I know.
Morris Chestnut.
I would fuck with John David Washington.
Morgan Freeman.
I would fuck with John David Washington.
Denzel Washington?
Huh?
I said Denzel Washington?
No, John David Washington, his son.
I didn't know he had a son. Let me do some Googling.
You ever watch Black Klansman?
Oh, that's his son?
Black what?
Are you fucking serious?
John David Washington. I didn't know that was Denzel Washington's son.
In Black Klansman?
Yeah. Black Klansman and Tenet? Yeah.
Oh.
That's crazy.
They don't look alike. That's the problem, but they sound alike. Yeah. I would fuck with him, even though he would be my pick. He would be my pick for like Mr. Terrific, but I would fuck with him as Jon Stewart as well.
We all know Mr. Terrific's never gonna get a movie.
I know. Well, or like Common. I know like Common wanted to be Jon Stewart for years. Tyrese also wanted to be Jon Stewart for years. He was just crying ass.
In the DC universe.
Yeah.
Common just floats around from movie to movie. They're just like, we need someone. Common, what are you doing today?
Tyrese also wanted to be Jon Stewart with his crying ass. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about the cameos. I mean, I enjoyed. I mean, hopefully, like, I mean, Zack Snyder seemed like he was setting up something with Ryan Choi. I want to see what his interpretation of the Atom would be. Actually, I'm actually pretty curious about it because I like Ryan Choi in the comics.
Let me ask you guys a question.
What's up?
How you feel about Deathstroke?
Okay, hold on.
I
only watched this movie Loki because I only wanted to see Deathstroke.
Oh my god!
I like the outfit, the motivation. There's Deathstroke ain't do anything for free. Deathstroke has done one thing for free, and that was kill his son because he cared about his son.
That's true.
So the fact that he was like, Deathstroke working pro bono, no, not true.
That's true.
He's about his money.
But we'll talk about like the cameo again. Cameo, it's more of an epilogue thing, but like I'll say it's for the cameo, like the whole Lex Luthor Deathstroke scene. Like that scene was because again the dialogue from Lex Luthor again in the Whedon Cut was him like, oh, let's make our own Justice League, you know, our own team. But in this one, it was a more setup for what Ben Affleck's The Batman was supposed to be, which was like a more like Batman versus Deathstroke type film. I enjoyed it. I mean, granted, what matter you can say about like how like they characterize Deathstroke in this, we don't really know because we haven't seen much of it of his Deathstroke. Even in the epilogue, we don't really get that much of it either. I love the way Joe Manganiello looks a lot. It's literally just the Arkham Origins Deathstroke costume, just put on him, and it looks so sick. And like the hair and the eye patch, oh, I love it so much. And again, Lex Luthor. I mean, even though I don't like Jesse Eisenberg, I don't like Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor at all. Even though I like some of the lines that he says, like the whole like the ding dong, the god is dead, like ring. I like that line a lot in the movie. But like the whole like I'm Lex Luthor, like it's just fucking it's fucking awful. But like when he's in
better,
he did
better in the Snyder one.
Yeah, when we see him in the suit, like the full and the he looks a lot like he looks like Lex Luthor. Yeah. But like, you know, he's still but like if we ever see more of him in the future, he better not be that weird motherfucker like puberty voice cracking motherfucker. I hated it. Like I did not like, you know, like this was supposed to be intimidating. He's smart, yes. He's not like a crazy fucking person, like, you know, at all. So
why was he in Arkham?
Because Batman in BVS was like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm putting you in Arkham because you're crazy.
Lex Luthor never goes to Arkham.
Well, in this one he did. You know? But yeah, those two, like that Lex Luthor and Deathstroke, I mean, we'll talk about the epilogue like right now, but like, you know, I fuck with Deathstroke coming on the cruise and talking with Lex. I like that. Like he looks tough as fuck. Like, you know? But yeah, so is that anything on cameos? There's no other cameos besides the one we just mentioned. So
besides him, it's just the Joker, but that's epilogue.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just talk about epilogue real quick. What do you guys think of the? I don't have any feelings on it at all. Like I don't know what to say about it.
If you break the epilogue into 4 parts, I liked one of them.
Okay.
Which is the Deathstroke Luthor conversation. Oh. That's true. I forgot the Cyborg conversation when he finishes his dad's tape is in the epilogue. I like that too.
Yeah,
that was fantastic.
But I didn't like the dream sequence. I didn't really like Batman's conversation with Martian Manhunter.
Mm-hmm.
And that was all that happened, right? Conversation.
Yeah, dream sequence. Yeah. The ending, basically, just everybody just wrapping up the whole. Thanks for buying my house, Bruce.
Word.
Yeah, it just felt for me like again, it just felt like multiple endings back to back to back.
Yeah,
it didn't feel necessary. Like the epilogue felt like the introduction of another movie.
Yeah.
Like no, I think it's like, especially with that ending of the Martian Manhunter like coming in, that was an ambiguous ending. Which I mean, there's a video that I think IGN released or something about talking with Zack Snyder like why he made it ambiguous. I never watched it, so I don't know why he did it. But like, I mean, it's clear that like this was supposed to set up another film or another set of movies. You know,
like, if they did anything, I think it should have been Lex Luthor and Deathstroke as a mid-credit scene, and then the Martian Manhunter's an end-credit scene, and scrap the whole dream thing.
And then if not, release it something online like, where's the dream sequence? You promised us dream sequence. All right, we'll post it on YouTube. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, no, so talking about the dream sequence just real quick. So yeah, what are your thoughts on the whole Jared Leto's Joker and like I fuck with the whole like in BVS with like the whole like dream, see like the nightmare thing with that. I fuck with Batman having like a resistance. I kind of fuck with the team except for the Joker. I don't like I fuck with like, you know, like Batman, was it the Flash, Cyborg, Deathstroke, Mira, but like the Joker being there, I'm like, why is he there? Like how is he gonna contribute? You know?
That was my what
against Superman and parademons and Darkseid. Like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. But I mean, I think it was only like I think maybe because like I will say this though. Jared Leto did get fucked. He did get dirt. He got shot on in Suicide Squad because like they cut most of the scenes out anyway. So we didn't really see what his Joker could have been. Even though like from what the deleted scenes of that movie in Suicide Squad, I thought like his Joker wasn't bad, but like this is more his iteration of the Joker. And I mean, I thought it was okay. Like I don't like but the whole like this is like the new team of like Batman's like resistance, I thought was fucking cool. Like, like again, we see Barry Allen like in the full futuristic armor that we saw him in BVS when he came through and told Batman like Lois is the key. We see Cyborg and Mira talking about how like like he's gonna pay for killing Arthur. Like talking about Arthur got fucking murked. Deathstroke. I mean, it's funny. I kind of thought it was funny that like we just saw Deathstroke saying like he's gonna go after Batman and then transition later. It's like, oh no, it's working for Batman, helping Batman. That was kind of funny. Like like the immediate turn.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the epilogue was. I mean, I wanted more. I thought there would be fighting. Like I wanted to see Deathstroke fucking whoop ass for some. But
because of how much they built it, yeah, they should have. Like it was just a primarily line reading scene, if anything. It was just we're gonna talk and then we're gonna get people excited for something that's not gonna happen and it'll just cut.
And for the audience, our audience, like this was the stuff that he reshot with the 70 mil. That was part of the stuff he shot. It's like one of the big scenes that he reshot. Yeah, I mean, it's like I wanted like a fight scene or something, and then this dialogue, like maybe they're going after a camp or like freeing like people or like refugees, something like that,
Shows the significance of each character or something.
Exactly.
But now we've got to sit here and ponder how the hell Batman, Mira, Cyborg, Flash, Deathstroke, and the Joker are the resistance against Superman, and I'm like, okay,
yeah.
Why do we need Joker? Like they're making a big deal, like we need him. For what?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you gonna joke? Are you gonna bad joke?
Listen, like you have Batman again. Batman, who's an amazing fighter and the world's greatest detective. Okay, he has something. Mira, I'm assuming it's Queen of Atlantis at this point. Yeah. Arthur is like gone. Flash is the fucking Flash. Okay. Cyborg again, showing off again. This movie just with Cyborg, showing how powerful Cyborg is with technology. Deathstroke is fucking Deathstroke. But then this fucking clown with a machine gun and like a Kevlar vest, like talking about like giving Batman a reach around, like what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck? Like what can you
need him? There is literally more. If you're fighting parademons, and there are more capable people on the Suicide Squad. Shazam! Like. There's just why he doesn't contribute anything. He's a gangster.
Yeah.
It's just
I've got these special kryptonite rockets for Superman. Like maybe
I got this special kryptonite hand buzzer to shake parademons' hands.
Yeah, Superman's not gonna be threatened by me, so I'll be like I'll sneak in because he'll just be like, "What are you, Joker? I'm gonna kill you," and then bam, it's kryptonite.
I think it's like his look too. Like because I heard like the whole fact that like I love the fact that he wears a Kevlar vest that has trophies of fucking cops that he's killed. Like I think that's kind of hard, not gonna lie. But like the whole like he's wearing an asylum getup. I did not. He's wearing like an asylum like dress. Like I did not like.
I always liked Jared Leto's look for the Joker. I thought it was unique. I thought it was kind of scary. Yeah. I thought it was, so that's why we need to see the Ayer cut, because I think that I do think Jared Leto was robbed and snubbed and then ridiculed for something that probably isn't his fault. Like, we know that they recontextualize a lot of Joker scenes because test audiences didn't like him being abusive to Harley, because test audiences...
That's what he is!
That's literally his character. If the Batman animated series can have Joker throw Harley out a fucking window, then they could do that in the movies.
Yeah. But no, it's I always wanted to see more from Jared Leto because I felt like we were robbed, even though I don't think he should have been in the Suicide Squad movie at all.
Yeah. Like I honestly also been sorry to change this like the more of his costume. I would have fucked with if you wore like okay, like the awesome vest, which I like the bulletproof vest with the trophies. I fuck with that. The gloves, I also kind of fuck with a little bit too. But like have him wear like maybe like like some nice some suit, some purple suit pants, some fucking like nice like shoes, like a
torn up
vest.
or something like
Yeah, and like a nice like
maybe,
purple shirt.
Yeah, maybe his costume's contextual and we just don't know it yet.
Also, what happened to his tattoos?
Yeah.
Did he get laser tattoo removal?
Oh no, yes, I just like that. So he just took it off.
Yo, I forgot about that.
What?
Yo, that's right. He had a shit ton of face tattoos.
Yeah, he had
Yeah,
Now he has
the smile one right here.
Yeah.
I don't think Zack Snyder likes that, so that's why he just took it out. You know?
Yeah, I mean I know, but like in universe, did Joker like after he dumped Harley, did he go to a tattoo removal place?
Remove this from my face.
Yeah, get laser.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but overall, like, and if you want to talk more about like the costume, I like the nightmare sequence Batman costume. Like, I think it's really cool. Mira looked pretty boss, and I like the trident that she had in the sequence. Deathstroke looked awesome. I love the mohawk for Deathstroke. Yeah. It was really fucking cool. And just the armor. Now I'm happy we're seeing more of like the future Flash suit that we saw in BBS, like an actual full on head to toe version of it. Just also like some people that were watching with us again, not saying names. They were like, "What the fuck is he wearing?" Like, did you guys remember BBS? I know it's a bad movie, but like, come on, like you know. But
I didn't like the Flash.
I mean, it's not. I kind of like the thing that goes over his head, but like, and Cyborg is like Cyborg with like a fucking rocket launcher and shit. But yeah, I mean, the sequence is like I understand. Like they could have been more elaborated with this sequence instead of just being like a conversation, you know. Showcase some action, like be like, you know, these guys are an actual threat, and then like, you know, have Superman at the end, be like, okay, this is gonna face Superman now, you know. Not just a fucking conversation. Ugh.
I was kind of thinking, if anything, either remove the dream sequence, or since it's been kind of established in Batman vs Superman, maybe sprinkle some of it in, like during maybe like Bruce's like moments, like, oh, I haven't been resting lately, or like this whole thing with Steppenwolf has really been getting to me a little bit. It doesn't show his fortitude as Batman, but his guilt is also controlling him a little bit, and he's trying to let that go. But maybe just the occasional, like, I've been getting these dreams, Diana. It's ever since I saw Barry, but he looked different, and he was, like, right here. He told me that Lois is the key. And maybe figure out a way to just kind of, like, shorten it, give us the best parts, and then sprinkle it a little bit here and there. And then there you go. There's your dream sequence, maybe.
Yeah, word. I just want to see Deathstroke whoop ass all I want. But it's probably not going to happen.
I'm very upset that the Deathstroke thing got discontinued. Although I'm interested in this Batman movie.
Yeah, because because Ben Affleck was supposed to direct and co-write the Batman. This was the original concept for the Batman before Robert Pattinson that Robert Pattinson project happened. So but again, he left the project because he was struggling with like alcoholism because of like all that stuff at that time without people the people just talking shit on him for years about his Batman and like Justice League obviously failing, and he almost like drank himself to death. So like I'm happy that he left the Batman project, but like I'm curious to know like what his plans were for it though. You know. All right. So any other thoughts on like the epilogue? Or is there no other thoughts? I mean, it was all right, but like it could have been a better ending. But the ending is a little ambiguous, which we'll talk about. So I guess the next part is like I just added this just now. So like what now? Now the SnyderCut is out there. It's happening. And the fact that he did say that like Joss Whedon's Justice League, the Josstice League, is canon to the DCEU timeline, like their current WB's current like movie timeline they're doing now. So like this is basically like an Elseworlds thing now. So
Okay.
so my plan is I was talking again with my girlfriend. She really wants to have a sequel. She wants a sequel so bad, but I said, listen, do I want to see a sequel to see like what his next phase was? Maybe, perhaps. Actually, no, fuck it, I do. But I do understand why he wouldn't want to do it. You know, because it's been 5 years. He could be tired of this at this point, just not want to make any more movies in the DC universe now. You know,
If not, yeah, no, maybe not DC. He might just want to do other projects to begin with.
yeah.
Maybe come back to this.
I am curious to see like what the now. I do want to, but as like a fan of these characters, as a fan of like Zack Snyder's work, not an immense fan, but a fan. Like I want to know what his version of like the Dark Side War or the Justice League War would be like. So my thought is like, do you think that like if this movie, first off, the Snyder Cut broke HBO Max. It actually broke HBO Max the day it came out because too many fucking people were trying to watch this movie, right? So obviously I think it's going to be a success money wise. So do you think we will potentially see another sequel, maybe a 4-hour sequel to this movie if they offer Zack Snyder and if he says yes, because he could say no. So that's my question I want to leave out for that.
I would say that unfortunately producers are cynical, and if anything, they should start focusing on getting people that understand the universe more rather than having their one-trick pony just constantly perform, because then it just like the DCEU would just become the Snyder universe, not the DCEU, with the occasional Patty Jenkins movie or the Shazam movie here.
No, but the DCEU is like their schedule is still happening. Like they're still moving on with what they're doing.
But by the artistic intent to start looking and start gathering resources of things to do or people that can help you for these different projects. Like, do you feel weird how the tones in Wonder Woman or Shazam are compared to the like Superman, Batman, or Justice League, or do they kind of work in their own way?
They don't work well in concert, but I like the tones of the other ones better. Like, I would not want a sequel because I don't enjoy Zack Snyder's movies. Like, I'm a DC fan for years. I love the characters, but I just don't like what he's doing with them. So I understand with his vision, they hired him, but it's not the movies aren't fun. Like, or not even just fun. First off, most of them aren't even good. But they're not fun. They're like set pieces for his ideas, which isn't what I think a good universe, a good adaptation of comics should be. Like the MCU movies, I think are an accurate reflection of Marvel comics.
Okay.
I don't think the Zack Snyderverse is an accurate reflection of.
Yeah, it honestly isn't. To be honest,
it's inspired by the comics, but it's not a good. It's not a good trend or adaptation of it.
Well, you can do things like the Dark Knight series isn't an accurate like DC universe thing, but it's a good movie franchise. Like, the movies were good, but these aren't good and they're not accurate, so I'm not enjoying them.
Right. That's what I mean then. Like I would say that they should start, instead of doubling down on Zack Snyder, which they might start considering on doing, which is like a bad decision. It's like, okay, what has worked with Zack Snyder's cut? Why do people like it? And let's try to remove Zack Snyder from it, as hard as that is going to be. It's like, okay, well, James Wan kind of succeeded with Aquaman. Patty Jenkins did with Wonder Woman. Maybe let's give these other projects to other people. Like it's kind of like watching the first Avengers and then expecting Infinity War and Endgame to be edited by directed by Joss Whedon too. But instead, the Russo brothers took it over, and it's like probably better than the first one. So it's like, the first Justice League was good. People liked it, the Snyder cut of it. But then once we get to the actual confrontation with Darkseid, what can we do to expand or to make it better for everyone in a sense?
and not better, but interesting.
Correct.
We can have like, I don't know, this might just be a me thing, but superhero movies have stopped, are getting to the point where they're not as interesting because they're just a bunch of flying people slamming into each other. Like, innovate. Like some of the movies that came out, like the last Spider-Man one was with Mysterio, Home Away from Home or something.
Far From Home.
Yeah, I just know there's a lot of homes in them. An interesting movie. Doctor Strange, I think it's still one of my favorites of the MCU because it was innovative. Like, if you're just going to Marvel had the head start. They already did a galactic shoot 'em up war, and they did it better than you. So stop chasing coattails and do something new.
Yeah. They should definitely move with more of a multiverse idea, which they are.
No, that's what they're thinking about doing. But from what I'm hearing, it doesn't sound right. Of their plans, with the whole again with Flashpoint looks interesting, but then they're gonna do a fucking Batgirl Beyond thing, and then they're gonna do a Supergirl thing, and I'm just like, listen, y'all gotta figure shit out, please. The Batman is a step in the right direction. To have just tell different Batman stories or different Aquaman stories or whatever,
Make
have
the movies good. Yeah, make the movies good.
The villains too. I would love a Deathstroke film. Oh god, but here's the thing with me with this. Sorry to cut you off, Chris. I'm sorry. But I listen, the DC EU timeline right now they're doing right now with the multiverse, their attempt with the multiverse. I'm intrigued with, but I just hope they don't fuck it up because they might with the way the executives are planning it. But at the same time, I mean, the Snyder Cut. I respect the artistic integrity of this at all. Yeah. And again, just to call it Deborah Snyder, his wife is one of his executive producers. So her main job was to make sure that his vision was his vision, and now no one fucked with it. But then at the end of the day, made sure that he was making the right decisions. But I mean, but if they, the thing is, I am curious to know what his Justice League war would look like. I'm not I'm just. That's just me. I'm just curious. Will it be great? No, but I just want to know.
Yeah.
But so if you
ask him.
I'll ask him. I'll DM Zack Snyder and ask, what would your fucking Justice League or Darkseid war would be? But the thing is, also found out. Yeah, and also it's also because in a review as well, the person who was reviewing did mention that she found out that what his how the fact that how back then the Age of Heroes when everyone came together, right, to fight Darkseid the first time. So the second time would have been everyone every force around the world, including the Justice League as well, we're gonna all fight against Darkseid the second time.
No,
that was cool. I'm that's cool. I mean, that makes sense. But to have every nation involved, every force on Earth, the military, all that stuff to fight Dark, that's cool. But so I'm curious to know. But I do understand if he doesn't want to do it anymore because again, this is 5 years, 8 years in the making, whatever. I couldn't say why someone would be burned out. This could be his magnum opus. And again, this is the best movie I think he's ever done throughout DC film, that he's done. Maybe even and the best movie he's done, I think. Because I mean, Watchmen's Watchmen would be a story it'll be a second for me when it comes to this movie, cinematography wise and all that stuff. But but I'm curious to know what his plans are. But again, if he doesn't want to do it, I understand, And I love the fact that this is his magnum opus dedicated to his daughter. I think it's sweet. I can understand why he didn't want to do it anymore,
Mikey.
But he wants to make another movie, another 4-hour movie, and then just end it there. I'm fine with it, don't make a universe again. Just make another movie, end it. That's it. Be done.
You're trying to catch lightning in a bottle. It's dangerous.
I am.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Listen. I'm open for him not doing it. My girlfriend is not. She wants it to happen so bad. But
I want it to not happen so bad. A hot take, but I don't think Zack Snyder makes good movies. I have not liked a movie he's made.
Fair enough. I can respect that. You know.
I don't like. I've only seen 4. I've seen Watchmen and these 3.
Yeah, but you understand what I'm getting at? Like, I'm trying to like make sense if I'm making sense at all. You get it?
Yeah.
Like, okay. Freddie, am I making sense? It's your opinion that matters to me. I'm just kidding.
Understand where you're coming from, and I love the passion and the fervor.
Yeah.
I don't share the same. I don't share the same optimism or the same desire.
Yeah. This is just not for you.
Yeah.
I know that there are a lot of other fans, like diehard Snyder Cut fans, that want this movie more than this sequel more than me. But like, I'm curious of a sequel to this.
Like,
let's see where else somebody else takes it. This is a group effort. This is a team effort.
I respect seeing his. I think I said this earlier. I respect seeing his vision. I love that he got to make his vision. I love that he got to produce the movie he wanted to. I don't like his vision.
Yeah,
it's
fair enough. That's the thing with Zack Snyder. It's either you like him or you don't. It's acquired taste. I don't mind it because I don't mind dark gritty shit sometimes, you know. But again, I do understand that he sometimes doesn't write the characters to the best of his ability or portray them to the best of his ability, you know. Like Superman, great example.
Yeah.
But his Batman, I like his Batman a lot, aesthetically as well as the art that he's given it, you know. But yeah. So anyway, so again, also the what now is like. Now that this movie exists, like how is Hollywood going to react to this film now? You know, business like film wise, like do you expect any other like future cuts of bad movies that did not do well that were poorly received by fans who then now exist? Like I would love.
I'd say so.
Yeah, like I would love. Okay, hear me out. This is a movie that I think deserves to get a recut, like a recut of like a movie. Amazing Spider-Man 1, I think, should get a web cut, like a Mark Webb cut. You know what I mean? Because Mark Webb is a great director. 500 Days of Summer is a great movie. Okay, and like
I want the air cut of Suicide Squad. I want the pit-off cut of Catwoman.
Pit-off cut. Oh my god,
that's so funny. Like. Yeah, well, I mean, Eric cut I would be intrigued by because there are some things in that stuff I feel like that could be fleshed out. Like Katana, 100% should be more fleshed on.
I agree. That movie felt very short and cut, like the Justice League movie. It just like there's something's missing, bro.
Everything. The plot is missing. It was supposed to be 3 hours long. They shortened it to like an hour and 20 minutes.
Like if this movie is gonna be a success, I think it's going to be a success like numbers wise and like money wise. Then like I think other studios will potentially like look at other films and maybe do other versions of this, you know, to get the same spark. I mean, I don't know, Chris. Do you have any movies that you want to see like recut?
But that's the thing. There. If I had to think about it, movies that I would want recut. That's a hard question because some of them are either just poop or they need to be shot entirely. Yeah. I'm like, I do trying to think realistically, I see the air cut being a possibility because there is nothing you could lose from it versus the Spider-Man cut, like a possible like version of that. Because like unless Andrew Garfield is in the new Spider-Man movie, or something tying to it, it'll just confuse people.
Yeah, word. I mean, be like, why are we just saying it just because I would just love to see that because I hate Avi Arad. You know how much I hate Avi Arad. We have had a conversation how much I hate that man so much, that walking, talking scrotum. So like I would like to see something like that with like Andrew Garfield, like for the first movie, not the second one. But
the second one, that one.
But I mean. But you continue your point if you can.
To any movies, I guess I'd like to see Suicide Squad if it was edited correctly and if it actually had all the information that was missing from it. I'd like to see that. I'd be open to it. Is there anything else? I'm not sure if there's any other movies that have been cut brutally short.
It's like you can go outside superhero films if you want. Like if there are other movies that like
that's a day.
Like that's like will non superhero genre films look at this and be like maybe we can do our own do the visions.
Okay, possibly. Yeah, that's like a special. That's why I actually meant. Yeah, I can see that.
In their cut of that Transformers movie, they kicked the exploding guy off of. Michael something?
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay. I could see Michael Bay doing something like that. We got more explosions this time. 25% more explosions.
The movie's just exactly the same, but just more explosions. But yeah, like I could see. I mean, I don't know if it will happen, but like, I mean, if this movie is historic, even if you like it or not, when it comes to like the fact that this man is getting to do his full vision, like for the getting up to do his vision again, is unheard of in film. Like that doesn't happen. So, I could see other studios.
Hold on a second, guys. Was Logan cut down or no?
Logan, no.
Okay.
Logan wasn't bad.
Logan's perfect.
I gotta.
Logan is perfect. It does not need to be.
I was just curious because I was like, I felt like I heard an X-Men movie being cut down. Well, I think I might be thinking of Phoenix.
Probably.
Oh, I haven't seen an X-Men movie. Maybe someone could make those things good, but I don't think they're going to be good.
I mean, okay, one thing I thought would be interesting. I mean, granted, this movie is really bad, and I hate it a lot. As much as Josstice, but like Fan Four Stick, like having a recut of Fan Four Stick, because like there was a thing that I saw that like they were gonna do this. They had they were planning on doing like the Fantastic car in that, but like it's gonna be a more like upgraded like shop version of like a regular car. I don't know. That's kind of cool, but like.
That's less of a recut. You just want them to remake some terrible movies and make them good.
Yeah,
The comic book fan is understanding that most of the movies will be bad, and we'll get gems every once in a while, and to treasure those.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree because I feel like I'm the only one that likes the Fantastic Four movies from the early 2000s. Because like I geeked out on them, as shitty as they are.
No, I like the first one, and also, I won't admit it, but like I also kind of like the second one.
I do too. I mean, Galactus is a whole other thing.
Super Skrull Johnny is fucking awesome.
Give me a hot second. I don't know if you guys could see it because I'm trying to remove the tag. But with the Snyder Cut, it just reminded me. There was also another cut. Where's the camera? There was also another cut. Wrong side. Another cut that made it way back in. Where the hell's the camera? There it is. The freaking road cut for
the road cut. I forgot about that.
So like
road cut.
You haven't seen it?
I've not seen it either.
What is the road cut?
And I've watched it in the past many times.
So the road cut is where they added Rogue to the movie because she was missing from Days of Future Past. But what it changes is that it adds the scenes that were advertised. Like, a couple handful of scenes were changed.
Yeah, why was she removed?
I don't remember. But let me see. Like, I don't actually, in case you want to see it, I'm not going to ruin it. But scenes were changed to help more establish the fact that Rogue is actually a character in these films. But they cut her. I don't know why, though. It's been so long. I'd have to see.
Boy, hold on. I'm actually curious. Did she actually have was it just did she have the whole the whole touching power thing, or did they have a more upgraded version of that? Is she more like the whole Captain Marvel Rogue who can fly and has super strength and shit, but can still absorb powers? Oh, okay.
No, she's still the same Rogue.
Because I literally think of as a Rogue, what can she do though in that situation with Future Past, Days of Future Past though? You know what I mean?
That's very true.
With the way she has her just being she can just absorb powers, but I don't know.
It's just they advertise it, a new cut of the film. That's it, and you get 90 minutes of never before seen extras they specified. So it's it's nice, but you're not missing too much. You just get a different version of the movie. But it's definitely a precedent where the success of this can definitely now outweigh maybe we could do a different version of a movie or something like that. Or whatever. We'll gauge how the audience feels, and then we'll release the edited version. Oh wait, look, we actually made it. Like me, buy our movies. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. Freddy, sorry, you were gonna say something?
Oh, I just wanted to point out that our review of the Snyder Cut is now approaching the length of the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, I've been noticing that too.
Yeah. So we gotta wrap it up. Unless you guys want to actually commit and do it.
I stand by that nothing should be 4 hours long.
All
agree.
right, but yeah. So I guess if anyone have anything to say on like the whole what now aspect until moving on to our final thing.
On the what now? No,
Yeah, okay.
I'm ready for my final thoughts.
Yeah,
All right.
final thoughts.
All right, so final thoughts and verdicts. So what would you guys give this Zack Snyder's Justice League out of 10?
Out of 10, I gotta
Yeah.
do some math real fast.
Hold on, I actually have a scaling chart. Where is it?
Oh, you have a scaling chart?
I thought we did things out of 7 in loving memory of Damone.
Damone's not here, so I'll allow it this time.
There we go. So my scaling chart.
Okay, make one out of 7 as well if you want to. Make one out of 7 as well if you want to. Out of 10 and out of 7. So do the 10 and then just convert it, I guess.
Okay.
Out of 10, I'm gonna be honest. I give the movie a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
It's, as I said, I like the action. I like the thing. There's some great character arcs with Cyborg and Flash, but my problems with the movie, I don't like the villain. I don't like Superman, and I don't think the movie gave a compelling answer to the theme it was trying to think of being stronger together by having one person solve the plot.
Yeah. The more you talk about that aspect, I actually really agree with you on that now. Like, because I didn't see it when I watched it the first time. So
It's definitely they kind of dropped the ball. They choked at the end almost. Like if you were really writing this movie, you'd see like the great parallels between the black suit and what it means and the whole thing of unity. But
exactly.
Yeah.
It was 3 a.m. He didn't have his coffee. Whoever the hell was writing this movie, they were just like, I'm too tired. Let's just write the finale, bro. Okay.
Word.
Yeah, but technically, to be accurate, I give it a 5.28 out of 10 because I gave it a 3.7 out of 7.
Okay, gotcha. All right. For me, it's like I don't want to do math. So like, can someone like I just say my 10 and like someone can convert to 7?
Yeah.
All right, so I would give this movie. A because I always can never actually give a percent. I would say like a 7.5 or like an 8. I don't like it's fuck it. I'll just say 8 just to round it out. But like in reality for me it's like a 7.5. I don't know. I mean, again, I did like I like the more breathing room, the establishing like the more character arcs that like were neutered in the original cut. What's it called? I like Apocalypse stuff. I like Steppenwolf. I mean, again, the whole idea of like the uniting the 7, like working together again isn't like now that you point out, like actually I agree that it doesn't really, it's kind of flat.
Is it Unite the 7 from The Boys?
No, Unite the 7 is from the promotional material
for Justice League, like the original material for it, like for Zack Snyder's.
That's wild.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, it's. I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it for what it was, though.
Unite the 7.
Okay, that right there. Yeah, I really did enjoy it for what it was. I mean, I'm probably gonna watch it again because I really did enjoy like the Flash and Cyborg and Bruce Wayne and Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Yeah, Superman, not really.
I would recommend it because then you'll start noticing a lot more once you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Superman, not really. But yeah, I mean, it's good. I think it's good for what I mean. And I also, again, I respect the fact that he finally got his vision. Artist vision is very important. And I mean, if you like it or hate it, I mean, the fact that he was able to do it is just a great thing. And it was for a good cause because it raised so much money for suicide prevention and mental health. So I think it's. And the fact that it's a fan-driven movie is phenomenal. Like with the community and all that stuff, So
it's an accomplishment. I love the story behind it.
Yeah, so I would give it a 7.5 or I'll give it an 8 because I really did like encompassing all that stuff, even the stuff outside of the movie, like with the campaign. I just think I give it an 8. It's realistically though 7.5, but everything else 8.
Here.
So yeah, Chris, you got your rating for the SnyderCut?
So because I usually rate them not numbers, but usually with words like it was good, crap, bad, or awful. I tried attaching the words to a number, and for For 5, I give it a lukewarm. 6 is okay. 7 is pretty good. 8 is awesome. 9 is dope as fuck. And then 10 is like perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I had to give this movie, being open-minded, I would say that. I guess. Shit. I know I was like super excited to see this, so I would have given it a 7. But I'll be real. I'm sure I'm going to notice things I didn't like now that we had this discussion. So I'd say I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
It was okay. It was okay. It was better than the first one for sure.
Yeah, 5 miles.
From what I've heard, sounds like it's in 1 territory.
Yes. It's bad.
Bad.
I give like a 3 out of 10. So.
But I do recommend even for you, Freddie, to like watch the original one because you'll literally see the differences. Like actually, it's pretty mind-blowing.
Have it in the background. Have it in the background when you're doing something more important. That way you won't feel bad about it.
Yeah,
fine. Just like how I haven't seen Star Wars, I'm fine having experienced this movie through nerd osmosis.
Gotcha.
Fair enough. Oh shit.
But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this movie, even if it's not like the greatest thing in the world. I really did enjoy it, especially with Cyborg and Flash. Jesus Christ, I loved it.
They were good. I admit.
Yeah, they were.
Yep. If anything,
they did. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but yeah. So, any other final thoughts before we just like wrap it up?
If you haven't seen it,
watch it.
Watching 3 hours and 45 minutes in. Think you're sticking around that long?
Yeah.
Give it a gander if you haven't.
Yeah, give it. Don't like. I recommend giving it. It's just be open minded and watching it, and have your opinion of it later on. You know, I mean, that's what I would say. I mean,
it helps if you've seen the original.
It does help. It helps if you've seen the original as well as if you've seen Batman vs Superman because it actually directly ties into Batman vs Superman in the beginning at least. But yeah. I mean, just. Wait, how are you rating like the MCU like movies? I think it's better than like some of the bad like MCU films.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely better than Thor. Thor. The first 2 Thors. I'd say Iron Man 3. No, that's Iron Man 2. Iron Man 3.
It's rare for a superhero movie in general for me to get above a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
So. It's a lot of MCU movies I didn't enjoy either. The only ones I can think of that are like enjoyable are Black Panther, Doctor Strange, and the Russo brother ones.
Yeah.
Also Ant-Man. I really like Ant-Man.
I really like Ant-Man. No, it's the first one. Sorry, the first one. Not the second one.
I haven't seen the second one. I haven't seen in the MCU. I still haven't seen.
I like the second one.
The second one.
For me, this movie is good. Is better than like the bad, like considered bad MCU films. For me, even Dark World. Yeah. I don't know. Like compared to like Whedon's movies, we'll say. I mean, is it better than Avengers 1? I'd say not really. Avengers 2?
What's Avengers 2? Is that Ultron?
Ultron, yeah.
I don't like Ultron.
Avengers 2, I'd say this is better than Age of Ultron.
I would have to disagree just because I liked Age of Ultron. I'm part of that minority that likes Age of Ultron.
I also did like Age of Ultron, but like I think this movie like is better than Age of Ultron.
You see, Age of Ultron had a lot better pacing.
It did.
Because it wasn't 4 hours. I don't know. They seem too different to compare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a thought that I had. You know, I was just curious.
It's a fun thought experiment.
Yeah. But yeah, man. At the end of the day, moral of the story is watch this movie, be open-minded, fuck Joss Whedon.
Make some time. Make some time.
Take a break. Take a break to go to the bathroom, like, actually. Because I had to, like, go to the bathroom twice watching this movie.
It took me 5 hours. I needed to, after 2.5 hours, I was like, I need a mind break. I played some Pokemon, came back half an hour later. I was like, okay, back into that.
But all right. So, any other thoughts before we close it off?
Yep. Thanks for having me. It's always a blast.
Yeah, no, yeah. Thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it, man. It was obviously a great conversation because we've almost matched it to 4 hours. But yeah. Thank y'all for doing this. Appreciate it. Again, taking time out of your day to like talk about the Snyder Cut with me. It was awesome. Again, people watch the Snyder Cut if you haven't watched it. Recommend it. It's worth watching. It's better than what we got. So I mean, that's all I gotta say. And then okay, so yeah, again, like wash your hands. Wear a fucking mask. Don't lick any fucking things you're not supposed to lick because it probably has COVID on it. Social distance, all that stuff. And yeah, we will catch